Heroes. Today, Neil, Nick, and I are going to be discussing the movie that came out recently called, what was it called? Space Adventures?
Yeah, I think that's about right.
Yeah.
Space Adventures.
Pretty much. Yeah, it involved laser swords and cute little porgs we all love and adore. So, we're going to be talking about Star Wars, The Last Jedi, Disney's latest release in its film franchise. Yes.
I know it's on the screen, but spoiler alert, so...
Yes,
you don't want that.
spoiler alert.
I have it in the title too.
Oh,
That's why I said it says it on the screen.
Well, no, I mean I have it like in
Oh.
the title of our Twitch. Warning, spoilers! Like a bunch of exclamation points.
So, without further ado, let's start diving into this work of modern art.
Well,
So let's talk first about the overall plot. What did you guys think about the overall plot of the movie?
I mean, overall, I thought it was a solid Star Wars movie.
The plot?
The plot, yeah. I mean, it continues where Force Awakens left off. As
Okay.
always, the dark side, being the First Order, is pursuing the rebels.
Right.
They're always going to be on the run.
But they weren't.
They spent the entire movie on the run.
Yeah, but the first movie they weren't. You said they're always on the run.
Okay. Well, besides the fact that they spent 2.5 hours 100 feet away from the First Order,
Being chased.
The entire time.
I thought that it did a good job progressing the story.
Okay. Nick,
So...
give us your Wookiee yell.
Not bad. Actually, better than the movie.
Better than me? Okay, well... What do I think of the plot?
That's the question I pose to you.
Well, first of all, the plot was... I don't know, it didn't go anywhere. It started off with not explaining how the First Order came to power. They blew up a couple planets. Yes, they blew up like the entire new government, but they all of a sudden have all these huge ships and everything.
Well, I mean, in its defense, when A New Hope came out, it didn't really explain how the Emperor took over. That came out in the prequels.
Yeah, but
So it's very likely that a standalone Snoke film, First Order film, book series is going to be in the works.
Well, we just need 3 prequels to this, but still
Right,
sequels
okay.
to the original.
but that's what I mean.
Gotcha,
We can't assume that. And
Nope.
I mean the fact it's so assuming that, yeah, maybe. But right now it just seems like the First Order all of a sudden just came to power randomly. It doesn't tell you how long ago it happened or how long it's been since the end of the last movie. What was it?
Force Awakens.
The Force Awakens. It has doesn't tell you any of that information, which in my opinion is pretty fucking important.
Well, I mean, I thought they did a very good job of explaining how long it's been since the last movie. It's been probably days since the last movie ended because what's his name?
Luke and
Finn is still in a coma from.
Well,
Yeah.
and Luke and Rey appear to first meet again.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sure, days. So, I mean, if we're talking days, that means from the start to, or the start of this new series to now, they've all of a sudden come up with these huge, gigantic ships that are pretty much new Star Destroyers. They're...
I mean, you don't think that they just had those lying around already?
Well, they did have a planet, though.
Right. I mean, I see where it's coming. I guess I'm confused because then they also talk about how like they are super happy when Poe and all of them destroyed the Devastator or whatever that's.
Mhm.
So they've obviously seen these before. So within days they've started seeing all these giant new ships, and then the plot continues, and it's like what the whole plot of the movie is. They're slowly getting away. Well, not even getting away. They're slowly keeping up away from these Imperials or the New Order or whatever the hell they're called now. And I'm like, First Order, there we go. And I'm like, what the hell? And then they all of a sudden just were like, well, we can't just stay here forever, obviously, because we're running out of fuel, which, by the way, is the first time I think fuel has ever been talked about in a Star Wars movie.
Possible. I don't recall.
Yeah, because it's always the ship breaking. It's not
Right.
necessarily
They don't run out of fuel. So, okay. And then in order to get the plot continuing, instead of like the new general, the new Leia, after Leia's been, by the way, injured.
Spoiler alert!
The new Leia, instead of telling her,
made a thing that just hit spoiler.
instead of telling her recently fallen commander what her plan is, she doesn't tell him jack shit, and he freaks out. And the whole plot now is that these two people, one we just met, Rose, and Finn, are going to go save the Alliance by going to this random ass planet, right? That's what the plot continues on. They chase little horses around for a little bit, find the code cracker.
They talk to Maz, and she's the one that sends them.
Right.
It's not like they just blindly picked a planet.
Right, but I mean, it's just...
She is the elderly lady that has like bubble
the big
eyes.
bubble eyes. I guess I don't fully understand what they were doing with the plot. And then, we have like the Luke and Rey part where, she's learning how to be a Jedi or Sith or whatever the hell she is, because she's not really Jedi, she's not really Sith right now. She's just a person who can kind of wield
a super powerful force.
A super powerful force user, I might add, with very little training. So
she got just as much training as Luke got.
Yeah, but Luke is like born from the Force.
We don't know she isn't.
Well, his dad was.
We don't know she isn't.
There's another thing.
His midichlorian count is off the scale.
There's another thing, though. Like, we're talking about, we don't know what she is. Well, the whole plot of the first movie was, like, a huge part of that plot was what is with her family, right? Our family's just really, deserted her in the desert. Are they really just kind of minors?
So it's almost as if the people writing it are wanting you to ask questions, wanting more.
But then they just
movies.
A whole bunch of more movies.
But then they destroy that kind of, because it seems like her towards the end of the movie, it just seems like her parents are just not important. They just kind of gloss over that, like her parents.
Well, Kylo said he knew who his parents were. I don't believe it, but it was mentioned.
Kylo knows who's his parents were.
No, but he mentioned. Well, obviously, everybody knows who Kylo's parents are. But he told
Luke and Leia, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Wincest.
Anyway,
does he say that?
He told her, "I know who your parents are."
Does he?
He was like, he was trying to entice her to join.
Yeah. He says they're like junkers, but we also have to bear in mind that, and spoiler alert. Well, throughout the rest,
it's all up on the screen.
Okay, there's so many spoilers.
That Snooky or whatever his name is.
Snooky,
yeah. Says that he used his power to connect them, so he could have also shown them visions. Like that. I would say that in terms of the plot, though, the problem I had was that it didn't really. I felt like we were spinning our wheels as the audience, because the entire thing with Finn and Rose, when they go off to that other planet, is really just pointless and just due to poor communication on the Rebel side.
Yeah. It was not needed at all.
Because their whole plot was in the movie they're able to be tracked through hyperspace,
which, by the way, was mentioned in Rogue One.
Yeah, I saw that they linked that. That was pretty cool. I'm glad they did.
I thought that Leia's little beacon thing was going to be have been set up to track them.
See, that would have been smart too.
But apparently they can just track them straight through hyperspace. So the Rebels' plan is to go to this old abandoned Rebel base, of course, and get a signal out for help throughout the galaxy. But they don't tell Poe any of this, and so it creates probably 35% of the movie, I guess.
Way more than that.
Well, a lot of it goes to
Ren
and
Luke.
Phippie, yeah.
But I mean, a lot of that movie is based upon this mutiny that's happening.
Yeah.
Because
completely unnecessary.
I mean, and another thing, I brought this up to you earlier while we were in the car. How the hell does Poe, who is at one point a commander of this newly formed alliance, not know who the second in command of the alliance is? He meets her for the first time.
Well, it may have just been because all the high command was killed. So maybe they're like,
that's true.
It's
that's
the
true.
next
They did
one.
mention that.
And Poe's not a rules kind of guy.
It's very.
They did.
You saw Battlestar Galactica, right?
Yeah.
Where the entire chain of command got wiped out except for the head of the education.
Another thing.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
For Battlestar Galactica.
Spoilers all around from a 12-year-old TV series.
Another thing that really pissed me off. Admiral Akbar died. and nobody shed a tear.
I wish he'd just gone into space going.
It's okay, like Admiral Akbar, and I know you hate this, but he was like one of the greatest statisticians and rebel generals.
No.
Yes.
He said it's a trap after.
But he won the main battle. It was all his plan to win that battle.
Explain that. Explain how he.
We're talking about episode 6 now, so
explain how he won that battle.
It was his plan.
It wasn't.
Yes, it was. It was his idea on how to destroy the Death Star. His whole idea. He controlled the whole.
Bothans died to bring them.
Yes, they got the information. No, it's right. Bothans did die after.
No, but he said episode 6. And
oh yeah, that's. 4. No, it was 5.
That line was episode.
No, it was 5.
It definitely wasn't 5.
Then it was 6. It wasn't 4. In 4.
It was in 4.
Because they don't talk about the Death Star the first time they get it. Is it?
I think it is in 6.
Yeah, because remember there are no Bothans in Rogue One.
Right.
So many Bothans would have had to have died in Rogue One in order for this to.
Right, and that's why everyone was so upset that they didn't ever show Bothans.
No.
In that line,
I'm
many
almost
Bothans
100%
died.
sure
Many Bothans died is in A New Hope.
Let's see.
I'm reading.
We don't have speakers hooked up.
Return of the Jedi. Return of the Jedi. They're talking about many Bothans dying to give us the information of the shield generator.
I stand corrected.
I always thought it was New Hope too.
I stand corrected.
Boom.
And the only reason, because we don't have the audio, is because Lando's there. And I was like, well.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Lando, who also should have been. We'll get to that.
Yeah, but what were we talking about?
In the Han Solo movie.
What were we talking about?
We're talking about.
I was just on something.
We're talking about Admiral Akbar
getting killed.
Oh yeah, Akbar. He's super important.
He's important. He's not a great strategic leader.
Yes, he was. He led that battle. He's the best.
He led that.
He sat in that chair.
He's like, we're gonna warp to the Death Star.
No, but then he sat in the chair and he was like, "All right, you go here, you go here." He was sitting there doing everything from his little chair.
He was just kind of flying around and said, "Well, the trap has been sprung. I guess we need to get out of here." Until they took down the shield, and then he's like, "The shield's down! Everybody attack!"
That was his plan.
To attack? Just
hey,
you consider that a plan? Attack.
I'm just saying they should have mourned to Akbar just a little bit more. Just a little bit more.
Well, okay, so.
Well, they also lost about 12 ships that they probably could have been mourning for.
Yeah. So also.
The bombers.
Is that another? Oh, that's things we didn't like. We'll save
we'll save it for that.
That's a big section.
So just back to plot. So they warp there and they're trying to get to the rebel base and they make it to the rebel base eventually and try and send out a signal. Nobody comes, so then they have to kind of escape at the end.
And that's the end. The movie.
Yeah, they're all on the Millennium Falcon, which is a ship apparently.
And it cannot carry as many people as.
Well, so
they're just jamming people in there.
So 400 people, they said, was left of the rebellion, and then probably 2/3 or maybe 3/4 of those transport ships got blown away.
Right.
So you're maybe looking at 75 to 100 people.
That's a lot of people for the Falcon.
Yes.
Well, yeah, I only saw 18.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I mean, maybe. Oh, a lot of them probably killed in battle outside the fortress too.
Yeah.
So.
That wasn't that big of a battle.
With the assault.
Ooh, filthy.
Okay, so also while that was happening,
so much stupid.
our A storyline, I guess you'd call it, not Rhea. Ray. Her name is Ray. Goes to Luke's island to try and get trained from him, but he's not having any of that.
Yeah,
and so
he wants none of it.
He eventually is shown a old recording that R2-D2 has in his files of Princess Leia saying that, "Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope."
That was episode 4.
That
yes.
was, and also, that was awesome. I'm just saying. We'll get to it.
We'll get to things.
It's a good throwback.
It was good.
But, so Luke tries training her and doesn't feel comfortable training her because he thinks she's going to go to the dark side. So he refuses and she leaves and rejoins the battle.
Wait, no.
Wait, yes.
Kind of.
Well, she lands on Snooki's ship.
Yeah, he says that he doesn't want to fully commit to training her, and so he lets her go.
Well, he says, "I will never train another Jedi again."
Yeah. Well, I don't know what she is, so.
Anyway,
she goes to Snooki's ship.
Yeah. Well, So who are we missing? Whose storyline? Oh, Finn's. Finn and Rose go to Casino Land, which is redonkulous.
Yeah, absolutely ridiculous.
And the only thing they accomplish is they get Benicio del Toro to come with them, which is pretty good.
What is his name?
DJ.
Was that his name on there?
Mm-hmm.
TJ?
DJ.
DJ?
Okay.
Okay. They get the disc jockey to join them. And that's how they infiltrate Snooki's ship and power down, attempt to power down the tracker, the hyperspace tracker, but get captured.
Yep.
Yeah, too bad Admiral Akbar was gone. He could have told him it was a trap.
He would have.
Yeah.
After trapping this problem.
Yes.
It's Captain Phasma. It's a trap.
And then Laura Dern, I don't know what her Vice Admiral Nechayev or whatever. No, that's Star Trek.
Halsey?
What was her name in the movie?
Who knows? She
Okay.
wasn't there long enough for anybody to care.
Anyway,
Purple hair bitch.
she warps her ship.
Warp.
She hyperspaces her ship. Into Snooki's
I
ship.
mean, it would make more sense actually if it was warp.
Well, we won't even get into that.
Science.
Anyway, so she dies.
Yeah,
So
she dies.
Yeah, I think that's the whole plot right there.
And yeah,
Well, you gotta say that Kylo kills Snoke.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you didn't see that coming though, damn.
yeah, the great, powerful Snooki dies to Ben Kenobi. No, Ben
Swinging
Kenobi.
a
Ben
miss.
Skywalker.
That's episode 4.
I guess it's Ben Solo.
Yeah.
It's been so long.
But they weren't really married, were they? So he could have taken Skywalker
He's
if he
a
wanted to.
bastard.
He is. But yeah, Ben Solo kills him, and somehow this great, powerful Force user who had been manipulating two people's minds to connect them did not feel the Force being used.
But we'll get into that later. So let's move on now to characters.
Damn it.
Okay, so now we're talking about the characters in Star Wars: The Last Jedi. Well, I think if we're going to talk about characters, we definitely need to talk about the Porgs.
Well, obviously, the Porgs are first and foremost.
They're too important to not talk about.
Don't.
Well, if you're going to talk about Porgs, we might as well talk about how useless every CGI character that was put in that movie was.
Yoda wasn't bad.
He wasn't CGI; he was a puppet.
Was he really?
He was a puppet.
Was that the original puppet?
Probably not, but he was definitely a puppet.
No, every CGI character they put in there was very George Lucas, just throwing as much on the screen as they can.
I didn't mind.
I hated every single one of them.
So I didn't mind the little horse things. They weren't that bad.
But that whole subplot, and then about freeing the animals, was
Yeah, that was stupid.
And them
but
running
it
through the
was
casino and shit.
it was cool.
that felt very George Lucas.
Like it was cool that they brought the little kid back at the end where you like use the Force to grab the broom.
That was pretty cool.
And like
That was cool.
because it shows like the rebellion is starting back up again
Because
from
he
like
had little Jack in the Box,
right from like what what it was, which is just a bunch of random people bringing in hope to the people. And they brought hope to that little slave boy. That was cool. I like that character.
Okay.
But I do agree, most of the CGI animals were absolutely horrible, and I think Porgs were by far the worst characters in the whole movie.
No, there was a horse or a cow thing that Luke
That
drank.
was
Oh,
the worst.
God.
That was
I
absolutely
forgot
horrible.
about that.
was
The milk.
How could you miss or forget?
Because
about
I
that?
tried to forget about
to
it.
block it out.
Yeah, to block
so
it out.
Well,
Luke, when he's on his island, there's this big, I don't know, platypus-looking kind of thing.
It was like a land manatee, like
with udders.
Yeah,
with udder.
but it had like 4 giant udders on it, and Luke goes up there and he squeezes an udder.
Yeah.
I don't know, and like a bunch of green milk comes out this time, and he drinks it. And when he looks at the camera, after he drinks milk, you can tell that he's just so pissed that he's in this movie.
Yeah,
Fact.
yeah.
Fact.
Mark Hamill was not a happy camper about the portrayal of Luke. You can just tell the whole time.
Okay, so let's talk about the characters.
Yeah.
So Rey, she's sort of the main protagonist in this. What do we think about her?
So, as far as her as a character, I don't mind her story, even though it's very vague from anything prior to The Force Awakens. But I absolutely hate how, as we've discussed, how quickly she picks up the Force, how quickly she's using lightsaber,
Fucking hate
how
that
she's
so much.
just overusing everything. it's just very rushed.
Mm-hmm.
But as a character, I don't really see a problem with her. Maybe, hopefully, in some other movie or some other book series, they'll explain her backstory more. But
I'm hoping they explain her. Well, we'll get to that later. But
there's a lot of new hope here.
Right. I don't mind Rey as a character. I don't particularly like her as much as the original characters, but she is starting to become a better character. I didn't like her at all the first movie. I hated her. I thought she was completely useless, and then the Force abuse towards the end, using the Force like mind trick where she'd never seen that before. That was frustrating to me. But at least in this movie, her character becomes a little more defiant. She wants to. She's showing that she has passion and that she could be a hero.
There is no passion.
Right. And so, I don't know. They've made some good character development. I'm excited to see what they do next with her.
Okay. I think that they really need to focus in on one person's story because, like, if you look at the original trilogy, it did have a lot of different characters in it that had important parts. But I think really when you watch those movies, you're like, okay, this is a story about Luke Skywalker and his adventures. Whereas when this is just it feels just chaotic and disjointed.
Well, it's almost like one of our D&D games where it's like, well, let's split the party and see what happens.
Let's do this. There's like 4 different things going on.
So it must be excellent then.
Right.
Don't forget to tune in and watch us. But yeah, I would like to see it focus in a little bit more on her and her story and development, because and especially her development with Ben, Kylo Ren, because I think that's where
Kylo Ben.
I hate that he goes by Kylo Ren.
Why?
I think it'd be more powerful for him to go by Ben Solo.
Okay,
but we can talk about that later.
Okay. Moving on to Kylo Ren.
Ben Solo.
So Kylo Ren is
Ben Solo.
I guess you'd call him the main antagonist of the movie.
Yeah.
The major bitch boy.
Yes.
He's such a bitch.
Well,
and he looked super weird when he was like half naked.
Yeah.
Right? Didn't he look like...
Well, he had like bitch tits.
Yeah, he like dumpy looking. I don't know.
But
he needs to work out a little bit.
Adam Driver, come on, pick it up.
I think that his character definitely improved a lot from the first movie. Because
he's far less whiny in this one.
Yeah, but I mean, it's also kind of bad in a way because, like, if more time had passed between the two films, I think we could have understood that, okay, he grew up a little bit, or he's changed.
As we've discussed, it's literally days.
Right. Or if he needed a scene, like, by himself or something where he's, like, angry with himself that he lost to her because he wasn't in control. And
see, that's what... I don't understand why they... In every other Star Wars movie, right, it was like months had passed or years had passed. I do not know why they decided to just skip a couple days and then jump into it.
Because we need to see what the Porgs are doing.
I just don't get it. They could have gone a flashback to that bullshit.
A flashback of Porgs?
A Porg flashback.
I don't think they could have done Rey and Luke's story from where it left off.
Why?
Over 6 months, a year later.
Why?
Because like it was critical to see what happened.
Because Luke from as soon as she got there was like, I'm not training you. So would you have spent 6 months saying, I'm not training you, I'm not training you?
No, you could have easily just done like her training,
like a montage,
for 6 months.
But that's what I'm saying. If he was telling her, no, I'm not going to train you.
Right. But what I'm saying is, get rid of the no, I don't want to be training bullshit, and just train her for 6 months, and then you can continue it and say, okay, no, I don't want to train you because I've seen this in you all of a sudden. Like, she's training, and then he's like finally getting her to feel the earth or whatever.
So Kylo Ren.
God. I hate that.
Going back to Kylo Ren, I think his character was very interesting, and my favorite thing that he did was after killing Snooki, he was like, to hell with the Jedi, to hell with the Sith, the Empire, the Republic, all of it. Let's just burn it down and let's start anew. And I thought that was really interesting. And I don't want to jump ahead to what I would have liked to see happen, but I'm going to jump ahead to it. I'm going to say I really wanted to see her say yes to that, and then they start a new thing, like not a First Order, not a Federation, not a Jedi Order, not a Republic or an Empire, but a new thing. and then maybe Luke has to come in and stop it because it's like corrupt or evil or something. But just to have a change, you know.
Yeah, but I don't think Disney's gonna let Daisy Ridley go dark side.
Oh no,
not at all.
Absolutely not. Even though clearly she was set up to be doing that.
Oh yeah, the whole time.
And Ben was set up to go light.
Yeah.
Excuse me 1 second.
But he can open the door.
Continue talking. Move on to the next character.
So the next character would be
Finn.
You want to go Finn?
Well, I mean...
Alright, we can go Finn.
So, this won't take long, because Finn is an absolutely horrible character.
No, I love Finn.
What?
I absolutely love Finn.
What? How is that possible?
He is my favorite character.
No.
I just discussed this with Gary.
There's no way.
I did.
Finn's terrible.
I just discussed this with Gary in the car. I think Finn's the best character.
Explain yourself.
I think Finn's the best character because he has the most character development.
How?
If you start from the beginning, he's like, from like the very beginning of Force Awakens, he's this, I guess, nobody stormtrooper who escapes and then, you know, fights off for a little bit and slowly starts to enjoy the rebellion a little bit more. And, you know, he's never truly part of the rebellion, but he becomes, you know, this hero all of a sudden.
Right.
Well, then you come into Finn now after a couple days and he wakes up, right? Mm-hmm. And so I'm super excited because I'm like, I like this character.
By the way, he had no injuries or negative repercussions
from
being...
all sorts of reasons why because of that. But anyway.
Back to tank.
So Finn wakes up, right? And then he's brought into this world where he's now a hero and he's looked up upon and he comes in and, you know, the rebellion's about to be destroyed by this.
Right.
ship.
So the first thing he does is I want to save myself.
Right.
Yeah.
He runs because that's how his character has been the entire time, right?
Okay.
From the very beginning of Force Awakens, he ran from the Imperials. He's been running. Well, Rose, another new character who we'll talk about later.
Rose.
I said Rose.
Oh, okay.
Stops him, and they come up with a plan on how to stop their ship from being blown up.
Yes, a completely pointless and worthless plan.
Right. Well, they didn't know that, but
poor communication.
Poor communication. But this plan goes through, and you know they go to this other casino planet, and he helps Rose, and you know he gets a little excited about the casino, and then Rose shows him or talks about her backstory, and it changes Finn's view on things a little bit. He sees that like the Empire the rebellion is trying to stop not only the Empire from destroying the galaxy or whatever, but he's looking at like these slave children and how they've been abused and how, you know, it just, you could see that was like the moment his life kind of changed a little bit, right?
I just wish I could put my fist through this whole lousy, beautiful place.
Okay. Yes, there's a lot of lameness. But I'm just saying, Finn is the only character that grows throughout the entire thing, really. And then, you know, at the very end, he has a hero arc. He's a hero of the story. He's about to sacrifice himself.
If he sacrificed himself.
Right. He's about to do it, and he becomes this, you know, he would have been a hero, and it's taken from him. And that, you know, that sucks.
That's the true story of Disney.
Right. But, you know, it a little thing that happened, a little kiss and everything afterwards, but all that's
I always thought he and Poe were going to get together.
Yeah, me too. But
they did share a J.
To me, that's a true character. You're seeing all these good things come from him. You're seeing that he's learning and he's becoming a better person, or even, you know, sometimes you can get evil or whatever it is. Darth Vader got a little eviler before he got better.
Is evil a word?
I don't know. I'm using it.
Yeah, moving on.
But I just think that was in my opinion, he's the strongest character in the whole second.
So I disagree.
Why?
So in the first movie, Force Awakens, they explained that he was taken from his family as a kid, and he was just taught how to be a soldier in the First Order.
Right.
He doesn't know how to fly anything. That's why he had to get Poe to fly him out of there. But now, all of a sudden, he's flying this machine around to go destroy
this jet ski,
battering ram.
No, but he makes you can see him struggling. She has to tell him, hey, hit this button, because he's like bouncing around.
Hit it on the nose.
No, okay. We're not talking about those.
Get out of here. But you can see him struggling.
He struggles the whole movie with everything because he doesn't know what he's doing and he doesn't know what's going on.
Right, but he's growing as a character.
He really isn't.
He is.
He really isn't.
Obviously, Neil didn't listen to Yoda when he said, failure teaches us well.
See?
Because all these people in the movie have learned a lot. Because everyone in the movie, all of them, all they do is fail.
It's true.
Like, is anybody do anything that's a success?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we can get to
Ren's
it.
taking care of business.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can get to it.
All right. Well, any other characters we want to talk about?
Yeah.
Luke. Yeah, I guess. Luke's.
I want to talk about how fucking shitty Poe is too.
All right. Let's talk about Poe and then we'll move to Luke.
I fucking hate that character.
Okay,
Yeah,
moving on to
he's
Luke.
pretty wishy-washy.
Yeah, he's the worst.
He's a terrible character.
I am going to rebel against the rebellion, and I'm not going to get punished for it. Oh, but I like him because he rebelled against the rebellion.
He's a rebel. He rebels.
It's so stupid. The whole thing is stupid. The guy's an asshole, and he should not be in command of anybody.
Well, he's not anymore.
Who knows?
I think he's like the de facto leader of
Yeah.
the rebellion.
No, Layer's awake at the end.
Of all 8 people.
All right, cool. Let's go to Luke.
Okay, so Luke Skywalker is a character from the original series who's
My favorite.
the most important character in that movie.
In Star Wars, period.
Yes,
He is the most important character in all of Star Wars. The only person you can
Anakin.
come close to is maybe
Anakin. I have a name
Or-
and it's Anakin.
I would say him or potentially Han Solo because
Han
without,
Solo is a favorite character. He is not.
Han Solo.
without Han Solo, the Death Star would never have been blown up. And you have
Without
to
Luke
that,
Skywalker, the Death Star would never
right?
been
But
blown
that's what I'm saying.
Without
That,
Obi-Wan Kenobi, the
Yeah.
Death Star never went
That's
up.
what I'm saying.
Without Jar Jar
Right
Binks,
here.
the Death Star would have never been blown up. Because Darth Binks controls the Death Star.
Darth Binks,
Darth Binks.
So, okay, so Luke Skywalker, important character.
the most important character.
So what? Because there have been a lot, and you didn't really see Luke in Force Awakens. So what changes did you note between the end of the Return of the Jedi and the Last Jedi?
Well, he aged.
Yeah, he aged a
He
lot.
aged a little bit, yes.
He aged a lot, especially for a Jedi. He aged a lot.
Well, he's actually a human being played by Mark.
Yeah, but even in human beings, I know. I'm just saying, like, even human beings in this like universe live to 120, and then to put Jedi with the Force, they should easily live to 150.
Again, he's a human
I understand.
being
It's just
on this
frustrating.
planet.
I don't care. I don't care.
It's just a movie.
It's just a movie.
No, this is a lifestyle.
Oh, God. The Jedi lifestyle.
I've read all the books.
What frustrated me most?
The books that no longer count towards the canon.
Well, so I've seen the movie.
Feels bad, man.
I've seen the movie 3 times. The first time I saw it, I hated it. Second time I saw it, I just felt really sad because of all the moments that were missed, and they were all really with Luke Skywalker because
They really are.
he had. There were a lot of moments that I would have done it differently, and I know we're not getting to that point yet, but where his character just didn't act like Luke Skywalker because Luke is, an optimistic, positive person who's willing to go out there and you try and make the world a better place. He wanted adventure when he was young, and he got it. And like this version of Luke that we see in this is just he's bitter and old and
decrepit almost.
Well,
He's a hermit.
yeah, he's a hermit. Well, when you drink just only green pus milk, I mean, it's not great for your kidneys.
We just talked about it like 5 minutes ago.
Yeah,
Where else do they get food? Where do those little fucking
fish?
little elephant people
Fish.
get food?
Fish.
It's an island.
Fish oil supplements. They never.
That's
forget.
right. He does do the little spiky
Yeah.
thing. So.
From like 80 stories.
And I'm sure they eat a lot of porgs.
No,
Oh, God.
they don't eat porgs.
Why do you think that?
Porgs are the savior of the story. Chewie doesn't eat porgs. Luke doesn't eat porgs. Nobody eats porgs. Porgs are porgs.
Chewie, another worthless character.
Yes,
They
Chewie
ruined
was-
Chewie. They ruined Chewie.
No more than the prequel did, but
Well,
Yeah, but
he
this
wasn't in that as much.
this is really bad. What they did to Chewie.
We won't even bother talking.
Yeah, I
about
don't
it. So back to Luke. Yeah, he just was just nothing happened with him. Like there's so many moments where you really just are like, yes, this story's gonna be good. It's gonna be a great movie. Luke's gonna start being the
Luke
hero
again.
and it just never happens. They
Well,
betray you every time.
they did, and the thing is, for people our age
Yes.
and even older,
in our
Luke-
early 30s.
Luke was the epitome of a hero. We grew up watching Star Wars, how, Luke Skywalker was amazing, and it got ripped out of me with this new movie.
Right.
I mean, Luke becomes this nothing of a Jedi. He completely takes himself away from the Force, actually. It's told.
Yeah.
Or says that.
It's a force power.
He's disconnected himself from the Force.
which makes sense.
Well, Yoda did it a little bit.
He had all of his midichlorians taken out.
Well, I
It's
think
a risky procedure.
I think they've glossed over the midichlorians.
Yeah.
They've completely gone away from that, which is good. But anyway,
I will hear that.
in my mind, they could have done so many good things with Luke. You know, if you watched A New Hope, if you watch Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi, you see a story arc where he goes deeper into the dark side, and then he moves back to the light at the end. And they could have done that exact same story arc, but they didn't. They did a little bit, but they just kind of made him weak. And he's supposed to be this all-powerful Jedi, and just wasn't.
They made his character weak, I would definitely say.
I mean, even his Jedi, he did one cool Jedi ability.
Well, he did fight Rey, but she just got a lightsaber. Like, he was beating her with the sticks. And then,
he was being defensive, I would say.
Yeah, he
learned from Obi-Wan.
But, like, he was clearly training.
20 minutes.
Yeah. He was clearly training her because, like, he was just standing there with, like, an arm behind his back. So,
yeah.
I mean, like, I don't think they powered him down or anything. But, like, his
I guess you just never saw that power. That power.
Yes.
And that was disappointing. And then, you know, they also changed his character, like, at the end, where he gets to use some of that power, like the little wipe of the dust. That's not very Luke-like. I mean, I like it, but it's not very Luke-like.
That was clearly thrown in for babies.
Right. And then he was very comedic a lot of the time.
Oh. That should be... We'll talk about that and things we didn't like. Remind me.
Remind me of the comedy.
Okay, so any other characters you want to talk about?
Leia. I mean...
Leia, okay.
She gets extremely powerful with the Force. She used the biggest amount of Force power, I think, in the whole movie. She saved her life from being sucked out by space. An instant.
+5.
I mean, instantly, too, right? Because that happened like that. And then all of a sudden, she just uses the Force to cocoon herself.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a huge use of the Force.
I think the only time I don't even know if she cocooned herself, because she was freezing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but if she... I mean, I don't know how they plan on using... But, I mean, she would have to have immediately used the Force to save herself.
Well, I mean, like, you could survive in space for a little bit. I mean, I know Star Wars is very accurate when it comes to, like, science. But, I mean, like, you're not going to instantly die. But, I mean...
Okay,
and then her little Mary Poppins flying.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I feel like I was the only one that was okay with, well, she just got thrown into space. I'm okay with that.
It was a beautiful send-off.
I was like, yeah.
Because it had Leia's theme playing.
I was perfectly okay with it.
Because Kylo didn't fire, and then these other assholes came in and took the shot. I was like,
right.
I'm okay
and that could have been a great character development for Ben Solo.
It was.
Watching his mom die without him doing it and being like, look what I've caused, would have been awesome. But no, they ruined it by giving her this huge amount of Force power, and somehow she survives. They didn't need to kill off Luke.
Spoiler alert.
We've got it all over the place. They didn't need to kill off Luke. They could have killed off Leia.
Okay. As far as her character goes, I think Carrie Fisher did a fine job reprising that role.
R.I.P.
Yes. I thought she did a fine job reprising that role. I thought she really hit, the nail on the head with Leia. Mm-hmm. I didn't have any problem with how she did that or how she was portrayed.
Yeah,
she was probably the character truest to themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And moving on to Industrial Light and Magic special effects. Alright, now special effects in the Star Wars film. They spend a lot of money. Were they worth it? Neil.
Again, going back to how horrible every CGI character was. It was so pointless to have that many. Like, you go into the casino, every other character was a CGI little rabbit thing, or the horses. It was just...
The horses were good.
Over the top.
The horses were
unnecessary, and it was for kids.
You hate horses.
I do hate horses, but they were at least they were well done.
Okay.
Like, the little crazy horse... Like, the CGI on that wasn't terrible.
Okay.
There was a lot of shitty CGI.
I will say that...
At least they didn't put Mon Moff Tarkin in there.
Yes. Yeah. I will say that I was half expecting to see her on the bridge being sucked out, but
would have been nice.
I will say that would have been nice. I think it was weird because some of the shots I think they really did beautifully, like the shot where Laura Dern hyperspaces into Snooki's ship. I think that looked good.
Yes, it looked amazing.
Yeah, and
it did look.
Because we're talking about special effects.
Right, it looked great.
So
Leia's getting sucked out looked pretty good.
when she was flying back in that
right, that was weird. But I'm saying when she got sucked out,
yeah,
and you see Akbar, rest in peace, Akbar. I'm really sad. I'm really sad about that.
But
I really am.
There was this one shot when Luke and Rey first go out onto Luke's little Juliet balcony or whatever he's got up there.
The little rocks.
Yeah, and that really looked fake to me. Did y'all notice that?
Was it even fake?
Oh yeah, I mean because Rey and Luke were the only two real things there. Everything else
was CGI.
Yeah. And
I didn't notice that.
Okay.
But I haven't seen it 3 times.
I did enjoy the X-wing in the water there.
Yeah,
yeah.
And that also made you think.
I thought he was.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. I don't know why he didn't just suck that thing out and then.
Well, it's probably been underwater for like 40 years.
Okay, use the Force to repair it. Use the Force to propel it. He's a Luke fucking Skywalker.
Well,
I'm just saying.
Well, then, with that logic, it should have been the same as Leia. Just hold your breath and fucking.
No, because Luke has been training. Leia's never had any training. I don't care.
Okay.
He's literally has these Jedi texts in it. He's got Luke has been.
He never read them. Paige taught us they were not.
Yeah, but he still read them. I'm not saying he.
He said he didn't.
No.
Yeah, he's like, Yoda said, "Have you ever read them?" He's like, "Well,
I feel like he read a little bit of them. He read a little bit of them. I feel like he didn't pay attention. That's what that meant. Because he never paid attention to anything anybody said. If you go all the way back into the movies.
I will say that I did like the fact that they used actual Muppets, I guess you'd call them.
Yeah.
More than just all CGI because I hated the little keepers of the island, but I'm glad that it really felt like kind of Dark Crystal kind of with those guys.
I hate those things. Those were puppets too, weren't they?
Yeah, and then Yoda was a puppet, which I was really happy to see.
And I thought that was special effects, and I was like, that's really good, but it's a puppet.
Wouldn't you think that's bad then, if you think it's special effects?
No, I mean, I thought it was like...
He thought it was very good CGI.
Yes, I thought like the CGI was so on point. I was like, holy shit, that's great.
And then, what else did they have those? They had quite a number of things that were real that I liked. But like the Porgs, again, as we said, pretty much anything CGI in this movie could have been taken out. Because I feel like this movie had a lot more CGI than Force Awakens.
It did.
Because that one was more dirty and gritty and natural, whereas this one, it still had some of that feeling, but it felt like it was moving more towards the prequel kind of sterile environment.
Yeah.
And the Crystal Foxes.
Oh yeah.
They're just unnecessary.
Like again, any CGI animal that was in there was just unnecessarily.
I thought that so the foxes looked okay, but they were
like a Pokemon.
They were unnecessary.
Well, Disney owns Pokemon, so
no, they don't.
They own everything.
Okay, so special effects, we're giving that a thumbs up.
I'd give it a B.
Yeah.
A B?
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I'm not gonna give it an A. I'm not gonna give it a C.
Well, the Porgs automatically makes it not an A. So.
Well, again, we're not talking about what they did with it, but how did it look?
Yeah, I'm giving it a B.
A B, okay. I'm going to give it an A. I thought the special effects overall did a good job. There was one or two scenes that I was like, Okay, moving on to things we liked.
No, there's some...
Okay, that was good. All right, moving on to things we liked. Okay, so what did y'all like about the movie?
I liked Finn. I know. I liked Finn. I liked that. I liked...
When it was over.
Yeah. God. I like that they brought a little bit from Rogue One with like the hyperspace travel catching it. I liked... Alright, I liked the part where Ben Kenobi, goddamn. Ben Solo is like talking to Rey and telling her just end everything.
What was the name of the Ben in KOTOR that lived under the Shadowlands?
That's Jolie Bendo.
Jolie Bendo, yes. I knew he had Ben somewhere in there.
Also, why is he named Ben Solo? If it was Luke's son, that makes sense.
We've apparently got a fourth person here.
Well, I can't hold... I mean, that makes no sense. Right? Ben Solo shouldn't be named Ben.
Albus Severus
It's because
he's Han Solo's son.
What do they care about Obi-Wan?
Nothing. Leia does.
Leia.
For what?
She help me, Obi-Wan.
Help me, Obi-Wan.
You're my only hope.
Some guy that her dad knew?
Okay, whatever. We're talking about what we like, Tom.
You're not part of this discussion.
Okay, I
apologize for that interruption.
I liked Finn.
They're just gonna think it was you.
I liked Ben. I liked that Snooki died.
Okay.
I don't like how, but we'll get to that.
You know, as long as I'm butting in,
Jesus.
that part you brought up where it's like, oh, we brought in Rogue One thing.
Yeah.
In canon, that happened like 30 years ago. How come there was no sort of?
What do you mean?
Well, they're like, oh, we could track things through hyperspace.
Which canon?
Aren't they all the same now?
Well, which one are you talking
Since
about?
Disney took over, old canon is not canon anymore.
No, but I'm saying in Rogue One, that's where it originated.
Right.
To do that. But that happened when they were getting the plans for the Death Star, which was 30 years since.
Right.
The
It
last
was
Jedi.
something they were developing. They hadn't
Right.
gotten it finished.
At Rogue One, they had
years.
Well, what happened?
You
Remember?
gotta remember the Empire blew up.
Yeah, the Empire blew up, so
Production
they lost.
stops.
They lost a lot of their materials,
Although they
and that
still
whole
build,
planet.
They
Well, that whole planet was destroyed too. So
they survived for a decade
no,
anyway.
but what I'm saying is that whole planet was destroyed, so it could have just been lost for a little bit.
That's not how technology works.
Tom, you're not part of this discussion.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Anyway, what did I like?
Ben.
Finn.
And the horses.
Ben Solo. I like the horses. I really liked when they were rescuing saving the horses or whatever. I like that they brought that kid in. I know it's like a small thing, but I like that they showed how the rebellion is going to be formed again by starting from the bottom and then building up again.
Well, you know why they did that.
Why?
Because Disney's like, I want kids to like this movie. I mean, we've got a horribly disfigured monster here that gets cut in half. We gotta have something kid friendly.
Right. Some kids can eventually become Jedi.
Yes, and the
Fucking hate them. But I like that. Yeah. I liked it. It was a cool touch with the ring, like saying, "Hey, we're the rebellion. We're here to help you." It was a cool touch.
We get our rings from cracker boxes.
I mean, yeah, the ring is a little lame, but it was still a cool touch to show that. And then him using the Force at the end to grab the broom was a cool touch as well.
A little bit of a Force abuse, though. I mean, he's
But
been
he doesn't have a
definitely-
training.
Yeah.
Right.
Dark Jedi.
There is no such thing as training anymore. So
The rest of that movie,
You are not innocent.
could have used a dose of subtlety that scene had, because he just reached over and grabbed it. Everything else in that movie though was so obvious and vulgar.
I like that.
You want to add another
I'm done.
I liked. They brought back R2 a little bit.
A very little bit, like BB.
I'll go into why I hate.
Oh god, BB.
I will go into why I hate later
all right.
because I really hate something you're about to talk about, and I will go on for an hour talking about this. I'm telling you.
So Neil, what did you like?
I mean, I liked Leia's story arc.
Okay.
I liked I liked showing how overpowered the First Order is compared to the dying Rebellion. How they were tracking them and just picking them off one by one until they got to the end. I liked them making their last stand there at the salt place. Didn't care for how they got out of there, but I still feel like overall it did a good job advancing the story.
Okay. All right.
What story?
The story of Star Wars.
So,
I agree with what you were saying earlier that the original trilogy followed Luke's story, where this one now follows multiple story paths.
It's like a freaking spider web of stories.
Yeah, well,
It's crazy.
I mean, as long as you're intelligent enough to keep up, yeah.
The story isn't going anywhere.
Okay. So we'll get to things we didn't like.
What do you like, Gary?
I will say that I did like the way the artistic director in that film. I thought they did a good job. The shot with the quiet shot where she hyperspaced into the ship, I thought was well done. I really liked when they're fighting on Salt Planet. I can't remember the name of it. It was pretty on the nose, but I thought it looked really cool because the salt was like all white, and then under was like some red ground,
red
and
clay
like,
or something.
Yeah, and there's this one point where Kylo slices Luke, and then like he kind of does a little skid stop, and there's all this red
and it looks like blood.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there we go.
I
thought that was cool.
Yeah.
It was a cool touch. I didn't even think about that.
I did like when Luke first appeared, and Kylo did exactly what any intelligent person would have done.
But
just blast him.
Yeah.
Like, blast him.
There's another thing. I did like the use of like the Force projection there, like with Luke. I like that they finally showed how powerful Luke was. Finally, throughout the whole fucking movie.
But it killed him.
Yeah, but it.
Well, that goes into things I didn't like. Well, it seems unnecessary to kill him doing that, but.
Yeah, I like that it was cut. If he was gonna die, he would die that way though, because it's kind of like he redeemed himself by saving, like, the rebellion, and it's showing how to encourage kids to be
more rebellious.
Well, to rebel, like, to
kids
encourage,
don't be rebellious.
To encourage kids to join the rebellion and people to join the rebellion because there's hope. Like, that's what that gave is hope for the rebellion. It was
like a new hope to it.
Yeah,
but nobody saw it.
Yeah,
Leia did.
Leia
and Rey both felt it, and that was that was a big thing. So they felt Luke fighting and winning, and then showing his force, and people saw it. Like, okay,
the Iceboxes saw it.
Okay, maybe you're right. Well, I mean,
the bad guys saw it,
right? And you'd assume they said something.
In context of the movie itself,
I'm adding a camera.
Oh, put the camera. Yep. Put the camera.
Well, in context of the movie itself, it doesn't make sense. But in meta context, you're correct. Is that what it was trying to do?
Right.
So, is that good or bad?
Okay, it's in the middle. It could be great. Like, it was cool that they did it that way, but I think it was bad timing. How about that?
Can you expand upon that?
I'll expand upon it when I talk about how bad.
Okay.
Also, another thing that I liked, you were talking about things you liked on that planet. Yes. I know I keep on talking about Finn a shit ton, but I liked that when...
Not a sponsor.
When he was going through, like, with the beam, how it was getting brighter and brighter and brighter right until, like, he was about to blow up, and then it, like, quickly saved. I like that.
What?
I like the special effects.
When Finn was going towards that,
like, towards the battering ram cannon.
Yeah, I thought that was going to be a beautiful moment there for Finn to go out on.
Me too.
And
everybody that should have died in this movie lived, and everybody that should have lived died.
That's 100% accurate. Yeah.
I thought that, and I was like, that's gonna, and it was a hero arc. It was a perfect hero arc for Finn. I do not know why they did that.
Because
it's because they want kids to like the damn.
He's got plot armor. That's what that is.
But like, her move, the way she tried to save him would have killed them both. Like,
yes, it's just all exploded.
Yeah. I mean, like, so they both would have just blown up there, and then the cannon shot. I mean, he would have at least
rebellion.
I don't know.
We should have been able to communicate better, but like,
this is like if Delta Squad had a rebellion.
So,
okay,
is that what we like? I want to go to why I hate it.
You know what I did like?
I really do. I have so many reasons.
I don't know if John Williams did it, but I did like Rose's theme. I'm gonna call it Rose's theme because it played whenever she was doing stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's not really a good critique to say. Oh, I like John Williams.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
John Williams did an amazing job this time.
Yes.
This time.
Mark Hamill, I thought, did a really good job too.
Yeah. Despite the fact that he hated how they did the character, he did a great job.
Yes.
He did a very good job. He was, I think, the best out of anybody.
There was one moment there where he had gone on to the Millennium Falcon, and he was with R2, and he's like, there's nothing you can do to get me back. And R2 starts playing the original message from Leia.
Mm-hmm. Those CGI looked really bad.
Yeah, it did.
But there's like the 1980s.
There's one part there where Mark Hamill was like, no, that was a cheap shot. And then he looks at it, and I don't know if this is me projecting or if this was what Mark Hamill was going for, but
force projecting.
For a second, it was like the years melted off of him, and he was Luke Skywalker again, looking at that for the first time, and he's like, I gotta go save, but then he was like, immediately shut it all down, and
let's go into the things we did.
I like that. I'm saying that was a good.
That prompted a lot of things.
I like that. Yeah, there's about.
Are we all done with the things? DJ. Benicio del Toro.
He was great.
I thought he had a very interesting character. He had kind of like a tick, which I thought
was full of stutter.
No, it was a tick.
It's a character choice.
Yeah,
it was definitely a tick.
Yeah. So I mean, like, Benicio
because he wouldn't do it all the time.
We don't do it all the time.
It was a stutter, but it was a.
Is a stutter a tick?
Yes.
So things we didn't like. Nick, would you like to start us off?
Why am I in the center?
All right. So things I don't like. I literally have this written down. I have a whole list of this.
It's not written. It's typed.
It's typed. So
we appreciate accuracy.
Yes.
Fucking hyperspace through the goddamn ship. Where did that come from?
And
also,
that has long been in lore.
Has it?
Yes.
Because why would you not just freaking take droids and build bullshit ships and just run them into ships?
Sounds very expensive and inefficient.
Really?
The Empire does that with the TIE fighters. They're just like, oh, we'll send them.
No. But it would be way more effective than sending shitty fucking slow bombers to blow up things.
Well,
and
remember,
just ram things into.
That was like a Nebula B class ship or something. That's like building a carrier to run into.
But it took out.
Yeah, it took
whatever
out
Snooki ship was.
It took out the biggest ship that they have.
The stealth bomber.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but also those little bombs took out like an Imperial Star Destroyer, which was
speaking of little bombs, why the fuck are they so slow?
What? They're bombers.
The damn
They're
bombers.
supposed to be like World War II bombers.
Why?
Why?
Because Star Wars is World War II in space.
Because it makes it more dramatic for them to be able to pick them off, except that one they can't get.
Right, that's stupid. It's dumb. They have Y-wings. Why would you not just bring a Y-wing bomber?
So those Y-wings are 40 years old.
It doesn't.
They
still use
far
X-wings.
less bombs. Those things were dropping like 1 billion
Yeah,
bombs.
but okay, fine. Do you need more bombs? Why don't you put fucking shields on the ships?
They probably had shields.
Better yet,
I mean, they were getting
just
shot by.
strap
one
a
TIE fighter killed one.
jet on a bomb and just send the bomb.
Yeah.
It's called a missile.
Yeah.
Why don't they use? Why aren't
we
they
have
using-
those.
Like if you're gonna have a suicide mission, which obviously what was those ships were. They were suicide.
No,
that was a suicide.
That's what Poe was on the suicide mission, but he
No,
was
the
clearing it out. So it
every
wouldn't be a
bomber was on a
suicide
suicide mission because there's no way they were surviving that.
When I'm commander of the rebellion, every mission is a suicide mission.
I mean, but seriously, it was. So why would you not just send a droid? Why would you not just let a droid control it?
We'll talk about not sending a droid later on.
Did you see Rogue One?
That's
that droid was super efficient when he took that laser gun and he was just killing people. Why not just build a whole bunch of those?
Another thing I hate. Why the fuck did they not bring R2-D2 into the story more? And I'll tell you why. Because of fucking BB-8.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, BB-8's fucking horrible.
I hate BB-8.
So BB-8 had a little Dutch boy moment. I don't remember what the name of the kid was, but like,
wait, excuse me.
I'm going to explain. Allow me to articulate.
Okay.
So there's a story from Dutch, or from wherever Dutchland is.
Story from Dutchland.
Of a dam.
Okay.
Of a dam that's bursting. So a kid sticks a finger in the hole, and then mores keep coming out. And BB-8 did that same thing with his little robotic claw. I don't know.
But splits infinite times.
You know, if we're talking about things we don't like, let's do this chronologically in the movie.
All right,
I think that's going to be the only way.
better.
All right, so the opening crawl I thought was really crappy because the first sentence is the First Order reigns or something. So we don't know why did that happen.
How did they get to be so powerful?
They destroyed a couple of planets that nobody knows anything about. So those right next to each other.
I actually know about this. I looked it up because I was like, what the fuck were these planets that were so important to these stupid new order?
A bunch of food there.
Not right now, but I will eat later. They were the new capital for the New Republic.
That's probably true, but that is never made clear in the movie.
Right, it's never made clear, but I had to look. That's why I had to look it up. And
I'm
I
not
hate
doing that.
And also,
why would you? Because they're just gonna retcon it, and everything you read now will make no sense and not be.
And we just had this conversation.
Thankfully, none of us wasted a lot of time reading those books.
Any years, any number of years.
We had a conversation about this earlier, but how did they get to be so powerful so quickly? Because only days have passed since this has happened.
They were basically the Imperial remnant, and then all of a sudden they're the Empire.
Right.
But for sure.
But what he's saying is true. Like they were nothing, and then all of a sudden they have all these powerful ships.
They were able to build an entire planet-sized thing.
Right, but it's been hidden. They've been hiding this.
They were also able to build that giant triangular ship.
That's what I mean, and it's.
Yeah, so I'm saying from the Force Awakens movie, if you're willing to accept that they could build a thing that big as that planet, then
I was not.
Yeah, I wasn't willing.
I wasn't either. Okay, I wasn't either. I'm not saying that.
I'm not willing to accept any of this happen without somebody seeing it.
Without some sort of backing.
I'm sure people saw it. There's just nothing they could have done.
At least the CIS had Count Dooku bankrolling them.
And here's another thing.
There's a character that got screwed.
The only way that this makes sense for them to be so powerful so quickly, and I brought this up earlier in the car, is for there to be like a freaking KOTOR ship manufacturing
the
machine.
Starforge.
The Starforge.
Which would be very
That would have been awesome.
But no way is Disney doing
Oh, no.
Right.
They don't even know about it.
Right, but that's the only way it makes sense to me.
Are you saying that they put this whole fleet together between the time of Force Awakens and this?
No. What I'm saying is they
They had to.
No.
But how much time? By the way, how much time has gone?
We're
by?
saying days. Past.
Yeah.
So it's just instantly.
But I can accept that they had this fleet in Force Awakens. We just
right. Yeah. Fine. But what I'm saying is that to happen.
Weren't they always worried about being found out because they didn't have a fleet?
I think they were worried about their Death Star weapon being
right
because they didn't have a fleet to protect it, right?
Because
I don't know.
I don't
remember either.
I don't remember. Maybe. But the thing that I'm saying is, well, maybe they had this fleet, and this goes with this. If they're saying, like, we can't bring our fleet in. So, like, I'm going off this Starforge theory, where they have, like, this hidden planet, or this hidden thing that's just building.
That's a great theory, but it's not based on anything in the movie.
Right, I see that. But what I'm saying is that's the only way that it makes sense to me. Is that they
that's
have
what
this
I'm saying.
thing building.
That's a great theory.
I think you have to also take it as, now that Disney owns it, it's not going to necessarily make as much sense as just, hey, here's the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'd be fine with that if they were like, this is the Empire, like in the originals, or like, this is the Empire. It's okay, so there they are, they're the Empire. They got that long reach shown in the first shot, and the Rebellion's just that little ship. That all makes sense. If you got that all set up, but if stuff just starts happening out of nowhere, you can't accept that.
So what we really need are a few Imperial Senate scenes here to help clarify everything.
Well, I feel like the Empire wouldn't have a Senate; they just have Snoke.
All we needed
saying, "Build me this."
All we needed.
That's why
for
they're
this
so
to be clear is for them in the damn cutscene to just say
the crawl.
The crawl. The New Order took over because they had hidden these ships somewhere off in space. That's all we needed.
Or they took some of the not Rebellion, the Republic ships, and they like repurposed them. That would be anything. Anything more than nothing.
What we really need is
an
a series of 3 movies to help explain what happened here.
That's literally what it seems like they're doing, and I hate it. It seems like they're gonna have all these little backstory shit.
They're gonna kind of do
because
what
EA
did the video games.
Right.
Oh my.
And I feel like they're definitely gonna do like a Luke backstory now, because like a young Luke, to show like how he built like
That's
after
called the original.
No, but what I'm saying
that
is
would
like
be a much better movie.
What I'm saying is between Return of the Jedi and
what happened? Okay.
What happened with Ben Solo. I feel like they're gonna have something there.
They already did it though. They revealed it. If they had kept it hidden, they could.
Well, we already knew what happened at the end of Rogue One.
That's what I said. I said we already knew what happened
that's
at
what
Titanic, and that made $10 billion or whatever. So
what I'm saying is, I feel like that's what they're doing. It's like they're just.
Are you trying to say that for some reason Disney would purposely leave information out in order to make more movies and books to milk us for more money?
But that's the thing.
Milk us for more money
from the teat. But what I'm saying is they didn't leave information out, and they're still gonna try to make stuff. And we didn't know what happened at Rogue One. Now that I think about it, because no Bothans died in that movie.
Because it happened in Return of the Jedi. I'm right.
What are you talking about?
The Bothans didn't die.
Is the second Death Star?
Yeah.
Yep.
We looked it up.
Same thing. I was
yeah.
It's a New Hope.
Yeah.
So, all right. So moving on.
So who died in the original? Did they not even say?
No, nobody died. They just got.
Because Leia just had the plan.
Yeah, they never told.
Well, that's unbelievable. Now those whole movies fall apart. No.
The entire Star Wars saga is garbage. Okay, so moving on to other things we didn't like.
No. Let's get more chronological.
Okay, all right.
So after the opening credits, what happened?
Okay, then they're at the basically the Battle of Hoth, kind of.
Yeah.
Whoa. What? The Battle of Hoth happens at the end of this movie.
Well, they have 2 battles.
Yeah,
of
they
Hoth.
do. Because at the start they're like fighting.
Yeah.
Or like they're leaving.
They're evacuating the planet.
And like the little guy takes out Poe takes out all the laser turrets.
Okay, so all right, yeah. So they're at that point, and it's,
you hate this.
Yes. Okay. So first off, the first line of the crawl is the First Order reigns. And then the first thing we see them do is be completely inept at everything that they do.
One ship takes out like a whole armada.
Yeah,
basically.
And like it's like the problem is that if your opponent is not anything to be afraid of, there's no joy in victory.
There's no tension.
So like when you're fighting Darth Vader, there's some real stuff going on there. Like that's a heroic thing. Whereas if you're trying to punch a baby in the face, like. There's still joy, but less.
In this scenario, are you the bad guy or is the baby the bad guy?
All of it.
The rebels are the guy, and the First Order.
The Empire is the baby.
They're the baby.
Okay.
They can't do anything. They're completely.
But there's like a billion babies.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I like that they kept. at least the turrets unshielded.
Those should be armored.
No,
though.
right, but
I
they
feel
never
like
have
It's
it.
not unshielded. He got so close. He's under the shield. I don't feel like it's a skin tight shield.
I feel like it's
like a glove.
I feel like it's a skin tight.
No, it's not, because when the other ship is they're firing at it, you can see that shield is not skin tight.
Then there's a lot of problems because like
There
the Star
are.
Destroyers should have never been able to be hit.
Yeah.
Well, it could be that it only stops energy because
Then
that's why
put a
ships.
big ass.
But that's why
bullet on-
ships can go, in and out of those force fields, get in the hangars and everything.
Who knows?
Who knows? I mean,
But
it's Star Wars.
I
too.
like that they didn't change that because they've always been
Right.
destroying the turrets. What I didn't like about that is when they obviously see what's going on, they only sent like
20 guys.
maybe 20.
Like scrambled like
it wasn't even
10,000.
20. It was like 8 TIE fighters came
Yeah.
after this guy.
That should still be enough. I mean, I know TIE
Well,
fighters are no
t-
match for an
okay,
X-wing, but
TIE
8.
fighters are complete garbage.
Yeah, they're
Like
shit.
They couldn't even beat the little jet ski things
Yeah.
that they had at the end.
They're fucking terrible.
that couldn't fly and had no guns.
Yes.
They were awful.
They were losing to that.
And so, I mean, why would you not just scramble? That was a huge ship. Why would you not just scramble all the TIE fighters?
Yeah, and the Star Destroyers, there were like 4 around it. They did nothing.
That's because they were fighting the other ships.
No, they weren't.
I realized we didn't see
I
it.
watched.
Did you?
Yes,
They weren't. What were
No,
they doing?
nobody was firing.
A Star Destroyer did not fire a single
All right.
thing in this movie.
Then this goes to what I was saying. Overconfidence is the only way to say that the New Order is like worthless or whatever. They have to just be too overconfident to.
Well, I mean,
To just fail
that
over
plays
and over.
out for a while, but when you're Cornwallis, surrendering at Yorktown, you got to be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't be
I need to
overconfident.
rethink some
Yeah,
of
that's
these strategies.
You gotta remember, Poe did successfully trick them into answering the phone.
Okay,
Oh,
so
God.
let's talk about that.
I forgot.
Hold on, before we talk about that, let me say about the overconfidence.
We're not even in the first 5 minutes of this
Yeah,
movie.
that's right. We're barely out of the crawl. That one, I can't remember his name, General Huxley
Yeah.
or
Yes.
whatever. He's not overconfident because there was one
No,
admiral.
it is.
There was one admiral who was like, "I'm gonna stay here and fight," and that guy was like, "I think you should probably leave." And then the admiral was like, "No, I'm gonna stay. And I'm not gonna run like a coward."
Right.
Was that in Force Awakens?
No, that
No,
was
it was
this
the
one.
guy was
the one
like-
I just saw.
The
Whatever
guy
that's
who's
called.
like standing on the ship when he dies. He was.
You've seen this
Did
3
he
times.
say he needed to leave?
Yeah.
He was like, "I think you should fall back. You're overpowered or something." I don't know. I was kind of falling asleep, but he said something.
I
to that
don't
effect.
remember that. I guess
But
I'm just so enraged.
Hux
at
is
that
totally overconfident because throughout the whole time he's like, "Oh, we have him on the run. We have him on the run. We're never gonna."
Yeah.
They-
When he's like, I think you got him. Like, he did not get him. Luke was still there.
What would have been neat about that scene
If
is
it
if
killed Luke.
only Kylo Ren had seen Mark Hamill.
That would have been cool.
Yeah, and everybody's like, "What are you talking about?
Yeah,
Shoot
what are you doing?
And then he still makes them do it, and they're like, "What are we doing?"
Anyway,
But no, that didn't happen.
talk about the fucking call.
Okay.
That was, by the way,
Very.
yes.
Yeah, but
So, Neil,
It
would
was
you like
awful.
to discuss this one?
Well, I mean, I think it was just stupid.
Yeah.
Hold on, I want to talk to Huxley. I'm still holding for Huxley. He's the tall redheaded motherfucker.
Okay, so finally we find something about this movie that Neil doesn't like.
wannabe Han Solo. That's what that was. It was a wannabe Han Solo moment.
It was just
Boring
we were
conversation
seeing
there.
it from the other side.
Yep. Because that's what Han Solo did.
Yeah.
But the lines were better. They weren't.
It wasn't a Yo Mama joke at the
No,
end.
it wasn't. Cheesy.
Wait a minute, lines are better in.
Han Solo.
When they were in the.
No,
Yeah.
I was
Oh,
just-
did you think you were saying?
I was
lines?
just
No.
making sure.
Oh
Okay,
hell
sure.
no.
Okay.
Hell no. Huxtable or whatever. Like so stupid.
Cliff Huxtable.
I was gonna say that.
So fucking stupid. All right, I think are we done with the bomber bullshit?
Oh, we didn't even talk about the bombers. Bombers are stupid.
Oh, I did talk about the bombers because I said I think we should have Y-wings.
Oh.
Why don't they have Y-wings? They just got rid of them.
Why don't they have X-wing?
Okay, so anyway.
They do.
That was not an X-wing.
And why did they not lock
What was
S-foils in attack position? When
No,
they,
yeah,
What
it was
was
it
it
was
then?
it was this when
It
he
was yeah.
when he was flying, and then he goes clink,
Yeah.
closed it up.
Which
It was
is-
some new ship that like
No,
opened.
no, that was an X.
Yeah,
It was supposed to be an X-wing. It was like the next generation X-wing.
right. I think it was
But
like.
It operates on completely reversed principles.
Exactly.
All I know is it was an
Well,
X-wing.
the engines are only half engines.
So I just. Well, my thing is if they can improve the X-wing, why can't they improve the bombers?
Or the TIE fighters. They have
Yeah.
unlimited resources. Can we build
we don't know that. We don't know how
I'm
many
just all
resources
about-
these people have.
I'm just all about the droids now.
They
I
dumped
just
them
think
all
droids
into a
should do
planet.
everything.
Okay, so moving on from the first 5 minutes, then they get on the ship and they hyperspace away, and he's like, oh. So comedy. Let's just talk about the comedy.
Thank you, because I was waiting when you were like talking about answering that phone. I'm just like sitting on
this movie is rife with comedy, or at least I think it's comedy.
At comedy.
There's something in movies called tone, and I think that
there's something in life.
Yes. So in a movie, when you go in and see it, you're like, oh, this is an adventure story. This is a comedy. This is a drama. You know.
Yeah.
And this movie.
And all of those can have hints.
Yes, of the other part.
Yes.
But I mean, generally, it's like primarily this one thing. You might have a dark comedy, something like that, a bromance,
Right.
I know we're talking about Star Wars, but do we want to link in the Thor Ragnarok thing?
No,
about why
no Thor Ragnarok. Star Wars only.
Okay, so Thor Ragnarok had the same issue.
I haven't seen that movie.
Okay,
we're not spoiling it.
I don't really care. I'm done with Marvel.
There's just so much comedy, and really bad, crappy comedy. Like at least in The Force Awakens, they took out the slapstick portion.
I was about to say not bad, crappy comedy, but way too slapstick.
Yeah, I would agree.
It's like the Three Stooges in space, which would be awesome, but not in the way they did.
Yes, no. But
Carly Joe.
It's very inappropriate. In terms of keeping you into what the feel of the movie should be, because this should be an adventure movie. Like Pirates of the Caribbean worked in comedy very well because it still felt like an adventure movie.
Right, but it had
it got a little goofy.
The first one was really good.
Yeah, and then the second one was just real dark.
Yeah.
Like in that scene that we're talking about where he's on the phone, if he could just keep going back and forth with this guy saying rebellion stuff to keep him on the phone, that would have been something.
Why did they not just do that?
I don't know.
Why did he have to do this? I can't hear it, or act like
okay, I'll wait.
And what would have been great is if Huxtable, or whatever his name is, learned from that. So later, when Luke was trying to trick him, he's like, "No, the rebels are tricky,"
Yeah.
That's called an arc.
Yeah.
I think that's outside of the scope of
That's
except for Finn.
It should have been.
Finn is so good.
Hey,
the best character.
I want to talk to Huxley. This is Huxley. Blow him up. Hey, what do you want?
No,
don't answer that. I don't care.
But overconfidence. He doesn't care because one guy's just in there.
Well, then maybe he did learn, because he did. He totally advised that guy to leave. So maybe that is a small arc for him.
That's I think kind of reaching, but maybe I'll put that in the maybe category.
It's reaching that's an arc, or it's reaching that he said that, because I'm 100% sure he said that.
It's reaching that it's an arc.
Well, yes,
because I think he's also cowardly as well.
Yeah,
I don't think he is. He was right in that AT-AT.
When?
At the
when
end.
yeah, when they were in the ship, their little flying ship.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't in the AT-AT.
It was like a little supervisor ship.
Yeah.
No, we saw.
No,
that was the ship. I thought it was the AT-AT.
Yeah, I did too. And then when the ship lands, Ben gets out of the ship, and so he had to have been in the ship.
Ship land.
They've got that with the long wings and.
Oh yeah, that's just some sort of weird redesign of the transports from.
Anyway, so the comedy, the comedy I think touches on so many things why this movie's bad.
It's like 10 people trying to direct this.
But I mean, the porgs are awful, and that's all comedy. There's a point where Rey's starting her training, and Luke's like, "Reach out," and she reaches out.
Which would be fine if that's where they stopped, but then he takes that blade of grass and he's like tickling her. Oh, you must be real strong. That's too far.
Yeah, too far. And then there are other moments. There are fat lady singing. I mean,
that was redundant.
I could have done without Yoda talking about the post being a real page turner.
Yes, that was
speaking.
And his giggling.
Let's continue.
Was a little too much.
Okay.
On to that. The books are.
Yeah, that comes later.
Okay. Yeah. So they warp away, and after that we see they hyperspace away.
Yeah, stop saying warp.
Sorry.
It would make more sense if they warped away, because then you could track the warp, and then you could run into a ship.
Well, maybe they're in a
track them through subspace.
All right. Anyway, so they hyperspace away, and then the next scene is
thumbs up if you want to play a Star Trek game.
The next scene is what's the next scene after that? The hyperspace away from the beginning.
Where are we?
They hyperspace away from the beginning, and then they're in space, and they come up, and they're just...
And they're talking about how they don't have any gas.
Yeah,
The fuel. I brought that up earlier too.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
It's the first time fuel has ever been talked about in any Star Wars. But I know there's fuel depots.
I mean that makes sense because
yeah, they had to be fuel.
Like the Millennium Falcon and the New Hope. They had like two.
And there, if you've ever played any of the video games, there's fuel depots. And
there was a deleted scene from I want to say the third episode.
We talked about raising taxes on fuel. So
no, but I think it was Obi-Wan and Anakin were like running through the ship to get Grievous. So it must have been the third episode. And there was a deleted scene where they were in this like blue water that was all. It was supposed to be the fuel.
Yeah.
That's why they couldn't be shot at. So I guess it exists.
It
but
does.
It's still weird.
I don't really mind the fuel stuff. Without it, the plot would.
I don't mind it either, and it kind of shows how the rebellion or what are they called in this? Resistance.
Who cares?
Rebellion. The rebellion is kind of on its last legs, but nothing else seems like none of their gear is falling apart. It's all much cleaner than it was in the original.
It's very Janeway of the.
Okay, let's talk about
no.
Voyager. Oh, I'll go on about Voyager. At least lay it and just go murder one of. Okay, all right.
Okay, so let's see. We've covered the ineptitude of the Imperial,
right?
The comedy, the humor, the poor characterization.
We can go into.
Let's talk about how Finn sucks. He's like the worst character.
So they jump out of hyperspace. The ship comes in, and then they start attack. They have to like fend them off for a second.
Okay, so Snoke's ship. I get that he's the big bad guy, but I mean, what's the point of him having that ship? I mean,
or he should just have that ship.
Yeah,
he shouldn't have a bunch of other things
that are completely ineffective and do nothing.
Right.
He might, just have that one thing, like the original one,
or
just
like
have the Death Star, basically.
Or like a kind of like a Star Destroyer that's like black and really sleek. It doesn't have to be gigantically huge.
That was comically huge compared to all those Star Destroyers.
I didn't mind it though.
That's
a pretty big undertaking.
That was like Saturday morning cartoon.
It was a pretty big undertaking, which is why there has to be some Starforge. It's the only one that makes sense.
Even with the Starforge. I mean, those Star Destroyers were like this, and whatever, I don't even think that name was...
I mean, it was probably the size of a Super Star Destroyer.
I think it was larger. I think it was like 2 Super Star Destroyers. Because when she hyperspaces through it, it cuts it in half into they're giant big pieces.
So, in the next movie, I'd be okay if they were able to piece those two things together, because it didn't destroy the ship, it just...
Right.
About that, now I just thought of something. Okay. That doesn't make any sense.
What?
The hyperspace?
The hyperspace. Doesn't make any sense.
We'll get to it.
Okay.
We'll get to it. There's a lot of things that don't make a lot of sense with it.
They were being tracked through hyperspace, then they're low on fuel, and then so their characters make some poor choices by not informing them that, hey, our plan is actually get to this planet, because they're not...
Why would you not just tell him?
Why would she?
Does the general have to explain all their orders?
To a captain?
When there's only like 20 guys with them?
Yeah.
And
she knew he was a hothead, so she knows he's going to do
She should have just put him in the brig then.
Right.
And if that could have worked, her not telling her, if there was some subplot about we think there's a spy on board who's telling the Empire what
Which would make a lot of sense because I don't know how they're being tracked.
Well, they do.
Well, but they shouldn't. I mean, they couldn't.
Yeah. Like, I thought Leia's little wrist thing was tracking her.
Yeah.
I was like, what is...
Like there was a third one out there that maybe Rey or somebody had.
Anything.
Or the Admiral.
All the Blandiers haven't been accounted for. Yeah. Something. Anything other than nothing.
Or Snooki was just like, oh, they're over here because I can feel them.
That also makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Of course, that would also make sense for Palpatine to be able to do that.
Yes.
I guess what you could consider is that as these are Darksiders, they're not quite as into the sensory area. They're more about domination. On the other hand, he was able to force them to have a bond. So
we'll get into that in a second. So anyway, they didn't tell him, and then that creates 35 to 50% of the movie that's pointless, an entire pointless arc about them going to a casino planet because they get the wrong guy. The guy should have been Lando Calrissian, though.
Yeah, I mentioned that.
The guy they were trying to get.
Yeah. DJ, he should have just been Lando.
But that's just like a little bit part.
That would because we only saw him at the table for like a second.
Yeah. Could have just been Lando.
I thought you were gonna say the guy should have been Bruce Campbell.
I would also accept that.
That would have been
great. He's a little busy right now, though. He doesn't have enough time to like take off for like a minor movie like
Probably
this.
True. Ash versus Evil Dead. It's taking all this time.
So I think that There's just so much to talk about in this topic. I should have broken into subtopics.
So, after
how did you get to the stuff you liked?
After they kill Admiral Akbar, it was really sad.
I feel like we've leaped forward quite a bit.
No, because that happens before they make their way, and then they don't tell Poe. We don't
go to Rey and Luke before that.
No.
Okay.
Because then they tell Poe like, don't tell Poe, and that's when.
Hey Poe, don't tell Poe.
That's when they go to Luke and Rey. Because
it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Like
Luke and Rey happens. Was there anything bad about the first time they meet?
Yes. All right. So the first thing that Luke does is he just chucks his lightsaber. Which is stupid. Like
I can kind of understand because he's like, I don't want to be a Jedi anymore, but still.
But I mean, like he should have just kept it. Been like, this is my father's lightsaber.
He should have not taken it from her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other action that he did would have been better.
This goes back to the Force Awakens or whatever.
That's fine. I mean, it's all in the same.
But how the fuck did they get that lightsaber back?
When he threw it.
Which one?
That's a good question for another time.
When he threw it and it went down,
which
he should have
Luke's.
not been able to reach it and have to
From
force.
That's Vader's old lightsaber.
Right.
Where?
Obi-Wan picks it up and then gives it to Luke in The New Hope.
Right, but then he loses it when his arm gets chopped off in Cloud City.
And
That's not Cloud
Butthole
City. It was his hand.
His hand gets chopped off.
The Death Star, I think, right?
Which blows up.
No, it was at Cloud City.
Yeah, it was Cloud
It
City.
was because then he drops down.
It's
in.
So where the fuck did they get this?
In Force Awakens, the little lady.
I realized where did she? Cloud City is a toxic wasteland of a
That
planet.
is a good question for another time.
Stop it, Tom.
That's the explanation.
That
is the
Tom.
explanation in the movie.
She explained it. She was like, I was out here looking for the stuff. The Force led me to his lightsaber. I picked it up.
What? When?
In The Force Awakens.
Really?
Yes. Jesus, people.
No, she said, how did you get this? And she said, that's a good question for another time.
That is a fact.
I don't know what the
But
hell you're talking
making-
about. Yes! Stop, Gary! Stop!
I mean, but
There was a bunch of junk. What the hell? Where did that
Where did
come
that
from?
scene come from?
But like
Some sort of fever dream trying to make sense of
so
all
they
this?
just
I don't
don't care.
I think we
That's
need to
what
delve more into where this came from.
What
That
I'm
was
hearing is
weird,
they just
wasn't
don't care about how they got it from Cloud City.
Continuity. Yeah, they're just like, we need that lightsaber.
Okay. Fine.
Although it would have been better if he just used his green one. He never lost that.
He threw it away.
He did use his green one.
That was in like the memory.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't he have a green one when he
Yes.
faced off against
Yes.
Kylo?
Blue.
It was blue.
It was blue. Yeah, you used the blue. Well,
He didn't have a lightsaber.
he was an
Was it
illusion,
blue?
and he was projecting himself as Kylo knew him.
Although he had a green sword.
It should have been green. Okay, we'll get to that.
Holy shit.
There's just so much.
Well,
a lot
maybe he
to unpack.
destroyed it.
Yes, clearly he would have, but I'm
Okay.
saying he
I don't
should
think
have.
he would have.
I don't. Luke would
Okay.
not have. This Luke.
This
did.
Luke would have.
Okay.
Okay, so fine.
We'll call this one Lucius.
Let's move on.
Differentiate the two. Wait, we're
He threw the lightsaber off.
Threw the lightsaber off.
Okay.
And then refuses to train her.
Right, which
That's understandable.
Right.
I can get behind that. And then
I
does.
don't. I mean,
he failed as a Jedi.
I'm still so invested in Luke, who starts the Jedi Order up
Yeah,
again
yeah,
and tries
I'm
to save
invested
the
in that
galaxy.
too.
So
But
I mean, it could have been neat if they did it where he got back into
Right,
it.
but-
and, like,
at first, it's fine that he didn't want to train her. Fine, so be it.
well, it's not fine, but
Then we move on to she's like keeps on wanting to be trained.
Yeah.
The stupid blue milk bullshit.
well,
Green
I
milk.
have to.
Green milk.
I have
it
to
looked like
say,
his hat.
That's teal.
I have to say that the way they did that, I kind of liked because it was a bit of a
With the
throw.
big nipple.
It was like
thing,
Yoda.
Not
No,
the,
it was
not
like
the-
Yoda.
It was like a throwback to an old like Jackie Chan movie or
Oh, it's like
something,
Yoda.
where you like, oh, I want to train with this really great master, kung fu master, but he's like, I don't take students anymore. So
Yeah.
you kind of just sit out there and go through a bunch of crap as he like berates you and everything. And finally, he's like, all right, I'll teach you
I've
to
seen
paint
your
the
daily
fence.
routine. You're
Right.
not busy.
Like that's.
It was that aspect of it was okay.
It didn't need to go
I
on
didn't
as
mind
long
that.
as it did.
No, but I did like that they did it. If they would have continued onward.
They actually should have done a little bit more because she just basically walked around watching him. He should have like put her through stuff. Like she should have had to follow him over those jumps and everything. That would have been him testing her to see if she could handle it.
So
Yeah.
failed on the training montage.
Right. I didn't
Oh
like
God.
the training montage was kind of silly, and they didn't really train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
so
then
it really weren't just a montage.
It wasn't even a montage.
A day in the life.
Clips.
Is this when they get back to the... I think that after the little training montage, they get back to the hyperspace route.
Yeah.
And that's when you see Finn for the first time. No, Finn's
going to
Finn is leaving. He's going to leave.
Yeah.
When we see Finn for the first time
is when he's woken up, and that was stupid.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it was that was a comedy thing.
Yes.
Finn's whole part could have been taken out. Not a problem.
Whoa.
No, it could have. He's possibly a good character, but he could still be removed.
Yes,
they treat him like comedy relief.
I agree.
He shouldn't be that.
So
at least they pulled it back a little bit from the first one.
I know. What are you talking about with that water spraying off him?
Do you remember the first one?
I do.
Okay.
I think that was dumber. I think his
Do you remember
water
the part in the first one?
Okay.
I don't. Well, you know what? You better tell me what you're talking about, because
let's-
maybe it doesn't exist, and we might need to clarify.
Onward. He gets to the escape pod. Rose zaps him. He goes on. Poe tells him to...
I came in when you were saying how he was running away, and he actually wasn't. He was trying to go save Rey. Yeah, he had the thing.
Okay, yeah.
He wasn't trying to save her. He was just trying to make her not come here.
Right.
Yeah, to save her.
Well,
not save her to like go get her, but just.
But it was selfish.
Yeah, it was horribly selfish.
So when the rest of the rebellion...
How was that selfish?
Yeah.
Because the rest of the rebellion would have...
He was just putting her above everything.
Right.
If he just
Okay.
put the watch in the pod and sent the pod off.
Right.
With a droid, the droid could do everything.
Yeah. How about this? C-3PO and R2-D2 have to get into the escape pod.
You know how awesome that would have been?
That would have been cool.
And they find Luke.
Yeah.
So,
As long as
anyway,
the escape pod, there's no life force.
that happens.
Well, let's
which
blow it up again.
I don't think it was that bad. Like, fine. They come up with a plan because Finn has knowledge of the new Death Star or whatever.
But it's a really it's
a stupid
the plan.
plan.
Comes out of nowhere. He's like, oh, they're tracking us.
He's got knowledge he shouldn't have. He's a soldier. How many times
Because-
did you
no,
clean up the? God, I don't even. There's no the AA guns.
Right.
Or something.
He has knowledge that he shouldn't have, but it's at least there's something there to go off of.
It's kind of fun.
And then
maybe she could have been somebody who left the Empire too.
right, she was a slave, whatever.
Yeah.
Like there's something there at least. And then after that, Poe comes up with a plan, and they leave somehow.
Yeah.
I think they both come up with that plan.
Right.
Yeah. They both come up with a pointless plan to go do pointless things
Because they haven't been told of the real plan, which would have just stopped all
And
this to begin.
they're like, you know what? We just need butthole eyes, and she can help us. And she's like, I'm too busy to help you. And by the way, that whole conversation was happening from like a third person, even though she should be talking on like hollow things. There should always be one way, and then like showing from anyway.
And then
minor complaint.
And then when they showed the shot showing the hologram and then them, it showed her from behind.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, so moving on from that, whatever.
I think that's where the movie falls
It's really bad. It starts to get a little bit worse, I think, because after that, they don't go to the casino. Then we see Rey and Luke again.
Okay.
Right?
Let's not do it so chronologically.
Okay, let's just do Rey and Luke right now.
Okay. Yeah.
On the island.
Sure.
Okay. So we've already talked about how, he stops training or whatever. Well, then we see she's talking to Kylo and her have this telepathy thing.
Right.
Also known as telepathy.
Right. How the fuck does Luke not sense this?
Luke's cut himself off.
The dark side clouds everything.
Yeah.
No, that can't be true, because when he's getting his ass kicked by Ren, he falls.
That's after
Rey.
he's
Rey.
He goes up to the table and gets himself.
Yeah,
back
but
and
he
says,
says
Luke, Leia.
Yeah.
What? So
It
he
is.
goes up to the table and Leia says Luke, and he goes Leia. That's him opening himself back up to the Force.
But
I think that you don't think that's just a reveal of that he is connected. You can't cut yourself off from the Force.
well,
I think that he cut himself off from the Force.
before that, he senses dark side in her before he ever does that stupid water thing.
Or he says so.
He
No, because he freaks.
no, because he says it's when she doesn't resist going to the dark.
Right.
And that she just didn't do. And he saw her not do that. He doesn't need the Force. Like if I see you shoot somebody,
When
I
did
don't
that?
need to,
When did that happen? Was that
That was
before or after he did the Leia thing?
that was
If we're counting that,
It was before.
so then I think he's not really cut off.
He is.
I see what you're saying. You're saying she actually just moved towards. No.
No, I'm saying she was sitting on the rock, and he's like, "Come back," and she's like, "But it's calling to me." And then he's like, "You were seduced by that. That's the dark side."
Yeah, but he sensed that in her.
Because she was like, "No, I'm going to go."
Yeah, but he's using the Force to talk to her.
No, he wasn't.
Yes.
He was physically going ah.
Afterwards,
but
I feel like he was using the
dark
Force.
side.
Stop it. We're on this other topic here.
I
That
know.
is the dark
Okay,
side
fine.
to give into your seductions.
Fine. So he sees that. Maybe that gives a little excuse to why he didn't sense it at first.
Okay.
But eventually, he's back with the Force.
Wait a minute. Okay, so it's okay that he noticed she's falling to the dark side or seduced by the dark side, but he can't notice that she's reaching out to touch somebody that's not there?
Yeah.
When did she do that?
All the time. She was like, she's talking to somebody who's not there. Or was that all in her head?
He saw her.
He did see her.
Yeah, he saw her talking to somebody. He's like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I just was cleaning my blaster," and it went on.
No, that's. He sees it and he's like, "You need." He senses it.
Because he doesn't see Kylo until he gets his Force powers back, and then he sees him in there.
Right, but he sees her talking to nobody.
Right.
And she was.
So
like,
he's not like, "What's going on?"
He did.
He did.
She said, "I was cleaning my blaster."
No, he said, "What's all that about?" And we're supposed to think at the time we're focused on Rey.
Yeah.
And we're supposed to be like her, so we're supposed to think, "Oh, he's caught me talking to this guy."
But it's actually.
But he's talking about her
blaster.
hut that's way over that way.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, I cleaned it." Remember, that's where we first see the
Yeah.
takers.
So he's not talking about her randomly talking to.
Yeah, he didn't notice it. Is what I'm
Right.
saying.
I know.
And he should have if he
Right.
noticed her falling, being seduced.
No, because he doesn't have any Force sense.
Well, then how did he notice her being seduced?
Because he was like, because she was like, "I see something cold and dark, but it's calling to me." And he's like,
but
"Don't
she's
go to that."
talking to somebody that's not there.
He didn't see that part.
He saw her doing it.
No.
No, he didn't. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. He's. All right, that's reasonable.
Okay.
Gary remembered an entire scene
but
that didn't exist.
He's
And we're
right
taking his word on this.
He's right here.
And you are sleep deprived.
No, but he's right here.
Yeah.
Because what he's saying is he didn't. She's talking about it out loud. She's like, "I see, this thing," and he knows the dark side's there. He knows that's there. So when he's like, "You need to come back," and he's yelling at her, "Come back, come back, come back."
Yes, I'm 100% on you on there.
So he never needed the Force there.
I'm following that.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, I'm pretty sure that he saw her talking to somebody who wasn't there. So if he was able to make that connection, he should have been able to make this connection.
No, he just said, "What's all that?" Because there was a hole in her wall.
Right, in the wall.
Exactly. That's what he did. And I'm saying, if we're saying that he, without the Force, was able to tell she's being seduced.
Oh, you're saying
her.
you think he should have been able to see her talking.
Right. It's the same situation. He should have been able to make the same judgment call.
I don't know, because I don't know if he'd ever seen that before to make a judgment call.
Well, if he had just opened his door and come out and saw that there was a hole in the wall, he's like, "What's all that about?"
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known she was talking to him.
Right, because she stopped talking when he was like, "What's all that about?" We don't see what happened.
Too accurate. For my recollection, I feel like he was standing there. I feel like we were supposed to see him standing there watching her talk and then say, "What's all that about?" And we're supposed to feel like
I have no
caught
idea.
her.
Maybe.
I don't think so.
But
I don't think
so that happens.
Yeah.
And then
He
obviously a source of contention.
Right, we'll have to watch the movie again.
No, I'm fine. I'll say Gary's right. All of this misinformation he's feeding us is correct.
We continue on with the island. She goes into the dark tomb, right?
Yeah, the little dark hole.
Right,
dark
she does the
hole.
snappy thing. I don't know what she even learned from that.
She learned
That she's alone?
She learned that she doesn't need the Force to sense the dark side.
Like, what was she supposed to learn? Can someone fill me in? I still,
to this day,
I don't know. I like tried to look it up online too, and I got no idea.
So I think what that was she was wanting something, like to know who her parents were.
Right.
And so I think that was sort of the dark side, just luring and tempting her.
I'm not 100%, but I feel like that was a vision of kind of the future and past, and showing, because the Force, they had just talked about how the Force is all connected, and
Well, I did like the scene, by the way. I know we're talking about what we don't like, but I liked when she could see the Force being. From,
they did that pretty
and
well.
Yeah,
and there's
okay.
death and
Yeah, I like that. So continue.
But they talk about there's a concept of the Force where it's like Yoda is always telling Luke, always looking ahead you are, never where you are. And it's like what we do, cause and effect. What we do affects what's in the future. So she's seeing past images of herself, future images of herself. And if you notice when she was going up to that thing where she's like, "Show me my parents," we didn't see her move. We kind of just transitioned from the Rey who was in the middle to the Rey who was at the thing. So I think it was just some sort of like time.
But also, so the one with the Rey with all the Rays behind him.
Yeah.
That was on the inside of the mirror or whatever that was, because she was a single one on the outside, who at the end was revealed.
I don't know what the hell it was. It doesn't give a good explanation of what the dark side was trying to do there.
I didn't feel like it was dark side at all.
There
didn't seem anything insidious.
It was supposed to be dark side.
It was supposed to be, but
that's what I mean. I don't understand what
dark side's pretty lame.
Yes, in all our games, I know you're always like, oh, the dark side's not stronger.
Okay, that happens, and then Luke gets his force powers back. He senses Kylo.
Yeah, he goes down there to investigate.
I'm still uncomfortable saying that he gets his
but
force.
that's fine. That's what happened.
All right.
According to the movie, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
He goes down there to investigate.
He feels of Kylo, and he's like, "Stop! What are you doing?"
After seeing it 3 times, I think it's Luke that destroyed the house, not Kylo, because Luke goes stop and the house explodes.
No, it was.
Hold on, and Kylo's just sitting there, not doing anything. Nor is he actually present, and nor does he have the ability to project himself. Like
well,
that.
can I say about that?
Well, I guess I can't finish, but go ahead.
You just finished.
Okay, go ahead.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
Well, okay.
Continue. No, continue.
Those weren't accurate. Those were stories that were being told to Rey, so that was kind of like what she was envisioning.
No, he's talking about the house on the island.
Yeah, when he blows it up.
Right. Not the house that Ben
before they
blows
do their
up.
fight.
He's talking about the house
house?
on the island.
It's like the one that she shoots the hole in the wall
He,
through.
that gets blown up.
When does that get blown?
He's like, "Stop!" And then he uses the force.
Yeah.
And it,
When he finds her talking to Kylo.
yeah.
Oh, what were we supposed to think?
Nothing. He was just saying that was Luke using the force to blow it.
Yeah, I think that was Luke probably like doing a surge of the force to try and.
You might have been supposed to think that it was Kylo because
Right.
that's what Kylo did in the past to Luke when Luke was like, "Stop!" and the house exploded.
But okay, so that happens, and I don't mind what happens next. You know, she fights poorly and he beats her.
I actually like that part.
Yeah, he beats her
because he's clearly just
until
training
the
her.
lightsaber comes out.
Yeah,
and then she leaves. That's pretty much it.
I don't think she fought.
Oh, no.
She did pretty well.
Right, but you know,
Luke Skywalker.
Right. And then she leaves, and he's like, "All right, I want to just destroy these texts." And this is what really pisses me off. How the fuck did he not sense? Because he has a force here.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how did he not sense that she took the books?
How do you sense that?
It's huge amounts of force power.
I mean, those are basically relics of the force.
You
But
sure
they're
that he
holocrons.
didn't know that she took it?
Yes,
Maybe-
because he's like, "I'm here to destroy the text and the tree."
Maybe that's why he stops at the tree because he's like, "Shit, they're not."
No, because
No,
Yoda.
that might be why Yoda's like, burn it.
No,
Do it.
maybe.
That's Yoda has to know because he's one with the force, so he has to know the books aren't there. So he's basically lied to Luke Skywalker, saying like, "Oh, you know, blah blah."
All he said
so
was that
stupid.
there's nothing in that tree that she does not already possess.
Oh, okay. So
You know,
he knew.
So he knew. But,
Yoda definitely knew.
but what he said was true from a certain point of view.
I don't know. And then I also didn't like that Yoda now, and I guess all Force Ghosts can interact with the world all of a sudden.
Yoda was very powerful though.
I don't care.
It's
so was
been
Qui-Gon.
a number of years.
Qui-Gon was super powerful. Ben was super powerful.
No, what I'm saying is Yoda should have probably
in the movies he
dissipated.
wasn't, but lore he is.
You know, eventually you're supposed to become one with the Force, no matter how strong you are.
What if Yoda is the
He
main
is one with the
antagonist?
Force.
Yoda's
And like he's like, "I don't want to die, so I will do whatever it takes to live."
That would be awesome, but he has taken no steps to do that.
So
none that you've seen.
Yoda is one with the Force.
Maybe Luke is a.
Are you saying?
I'm saying that you can't like materialize yourself after a certain because I mean
Who knows?
True. In the books I've read
It's
on
a
Star
new
Wars,
those are gone.
in the books I've read about Star Wars that haven't been redacted, because I'm talking about the novelization of the 3rd episode. It said that you can learn to materialize yourself for a
Episode
time.
3.
Yes.
Why would you read the
Revenge of the Sith.
novelization of?
It was given to me as a Christmas present some years back. So-
Then that should be canon, but who said that?
Yoda.
What does he know?
But
he's 2 feet tall.
I don't know. Maybe they just said fuck it to that.
They probably. I doubt they have any idea what I'm talking about. If Disney is watching this right now.
They said fuck it to that. And so,
you need to let Sam Raimi direct.
Yoda came, he destroys the tree. Now it makes more sense to me because he knew the texts were already gone.
Yeah, but he's lying to Luke.
No, he's not, because he said everything that she...
That was my whole joke, is that's a lie.
It's not a lie.
Yoda just oftentimes doesn't give Luke the whole picture.
Right. He's
like when he didn't tell him you have a sister.
Yeah.
That's because that hadn't been written in yet.
It doesn't matter.
Maybe the end of the movie hadn't been written in by the time they filmed the scene.
But he's always been vague with you.
No, he hasn't.
Yes, he
Yoda's
has.
the one who's not vague. It's Obi-Wan who's vague.
Because in episode 2, Empire Strikes Back, he could have just said, if you go to this Cloud City, you're going to turn into the dark side. But he didn't say that.
He said, if you leave now...
What's in there? Only what you take with you. What the fuck does that
mean?
That's literal...
He's vague. He is.
How is that vague?
His little freaking midget speak is vague.
Wow. Whoa. Super
I'm just
racist.
saying. So, whatever.
Delta Squad does not approve of that.
You know, he blows the freaking tree up. And I didn't really like that he could use that.
That was weird.
Yeah.
The best part of the movie, though, was when he was talking to Luke.
Yeah.
Because
the interaction was good.
And Leia. When Luke and Leia are talking, those are great.
So, what I hate most about this movie, what I dislike most
are the missed opportunities.
Because you think, okay, it's gonna happen, you know, because like Luke puts on his Jedi robe and he goes to burn down the temple, and you're like, okay, he's gonna be like, okay, we gotta put our old ways behind us and get back together, start a new order, and like you're like, yes, go do this, and he doesn't, and it just kills me.
Maybe he was.
No.
Maybe he was going to, but then. When he gets to distress,
can't start
flooded.
Maybe he was going to, but when he gets a distress call from Leia, he has to take immediate action because he knows that.
Everybody's within like 18 hours of everybody else. I think he could have got there in time.
No, because he didn't have a ship. Maybe the ship is actually destroyed.
We saw it. It's in perfect condition.
No, it was underwater.
It was under like a foot of water.
It
is a spaceship.
Yeah. I understand, and it has been under much worse conditions, like the swamp and everything. I understand, but I'm saying.
Well, it's a spaceship, so either 0 to 1.
I'm saying maybe it didn't work. It's been there for so long.
I will also say I liked that we saw the ship down there because it implies that Luke crashed, and in all the books he was in, he always crash landed on a planet. So,
so
not that good about it.
Not like Poe. We're past that. We're past that part.
After the texts are burned or whatever, the tree.
I feel like we're huge deep into it now.
Yeah, because we're not
skipping around.
Right.
We don't need to talk about the casino or all that crap.
Yeah, the casino was shit. The whole thing was shit. Like, it was awful.
Yeah, casino was bad. That's all.
Alright.
And the horses.
Since we're talking about things in one big thing, right? We're talking about one big thing.
Wait.
We're just doing parts, right?
Right.
I fucking hate BB-8. I know I've already said it.
Yeah. Okay.
How is this a part?
That's 100% agreement around the table.
But
I think
here's why.
I think BB-8 is fine. He's fine. You just hate him because he takes R2-D2.
No, I don't, because R2-D2 never took down 5 guards by himself.
In Revenge of the Sith, he fought a whole bunch.
That
R2-D2. Have you watched the original 3 in some time?
When did he take 5 people down by himself?
When he's on Jabba, or not Jabba's.
Jabba?
Jabba the Hutt's thing.
Jabba the Jabba.
He just shocks somebody and he falls out of the window.
That's one. That's taking one down.
BB-8 took 5 people out.
What are you talking about?
When they're escaping from the casino,
He's full of gold coins.
He took 5 people out, and then he shoots
by the way,
coins.
they didn't show how that happened.
Right, but it was BB-8.
It was probably something real stupid, like he was just swinging around.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And then,
did he even take that guy down? He shot with coins.
Yeah,
he did. He
yeah.
killed him.
He didn't kill him.
BJ killed him, or DB, or DJ.
But he distracts him or whatever. And
then
then what else happens?
So then how did he knock those other guys out?
What other BB-8 bullshit happens? Oh, he's in the ship with Poe, and he can't actually do his fucking job correctly, so he just sticks his head into the fucking thing and it fixes it.
Kind of like a Dutch boy situation.
Shut up! That was my comment.
And then, what else?
It's a callback to earlier.
What else?
Go to this time
the
zone.
Stupid. He all of a sudden becomes an AT-AT.
No, it was hooked up. I thought it was Dutch boy or something taking control of it. And when the head ripped off, I'm like, why is? And then BB-8, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's weird.
Oh, so also in that scene, we're gonna jump to that, I guess.
How did he get out?
Who?
BB-8.
Out of what?
He was captured.
No, it wasn't. They kicked him away.
Yeah, he's a droid. They don't care.
Which is why they should have a droid pilot the ship into the other ship. So after the ship flies into the other ship, so at that scene, Phasma, there's only one time that happens.
Yeah, the hyperspace, but we'll talk about that later.
Okay. So
that's stupid.
Phasma's standing right there with all the stormtroopers, hundreds of them, and then they're down there on the ground, and the ship flies into it. And really, if you're holding like a light cutter to somebody's neck and a ship flies in your ship, you're probably going to kill them. But just on the off chance you didn't. All the stormtroopers around them die. I mean, they're in armor, but what the hell. And then Phasma somehow ends up at the other side of the docking bay
with more stormtroopers.
With more stormtroopers. I mean, and then the fight they have is completely pointless.
Yeah.
He picks up another one of those dumb batons.
They fight for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then BB-8 saves the day.
Yeah. If you're gonna keep Finn alive, you should have kept Phasma alive, because
maybe she is alive.
No, she fell. Yeah.
Luke fell
Spoiler alert.
Luke fell into a pit.
But you think Snoke is alive, and you don't think she's alive?
Oh, Snoke is dead.
Well, that's our next section we'll get into.
Snoke is
we'll get into that in a second.
You think he phased out too?
Hold on. We'll get into that in a second. Okay.
I guess that's not a spoiler.
Yeah, Snoke is not dead.
We're gonna talk about that in a second. Okay.
I will blow up.
All right. Anything else that we didn't like?
We're like halfway through the movie.
Hyperspace. Why the fuck did she kill herself? A droid could have done what she did. And she could have ejected herself.
She's like, somebody has to stay behind. I'm like, just program it into the ship.
C-3PO, he's right there.
Yeah.
Send him up
they don't even have to sacrifice a droid. Just put the coordinates in and boom. Also, I just thought back a few minutes ago, that's not how hyperspace works in Star Wars.
It is. That movie is canon.
They go into a different dimension. That's what all that blue stuff is. So she should just phase right through them.
Right.
And clearly that's not what happened.
It's only gravity wells that affect them.
Right. And that's why their routes have to be so precise, because if they fuck up on the gravity well, it destroys the ship.
That ship is so big it probably is a gravity well.
Okay. And not only that, if this is true that they can just run into things, why would you not just, like, if you were this stupid Imperial crap,
First Order, please.
Why would you not just put things in their hyperspace route at all times? Just like mines or something, if they can be run into during hyperspace.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you can.
Why not?
I guess we can track them where they're going.
Right.
So.
Or like the Rebellion uses certain trading, like certain hyperspace routes about.
I will say we don't know enough about hyperspace because it's possible that.
My understanding is like the planets are constantly moving, so the routes are constantly changing. So.
Right, and they could be.
That's
going
why they're
anywhere.
programmed.
So it's
with a droid though. So if you could just program a mine that rotates around the freaking gravity well, slowly moves because it's Star Wars, and boom, you just kill everybody who goes in that stupid hyperspace route.
I'll say that wouldn't work. That doesn't check out.
Why?
Actually, because there's no way to tell where these people are going. As far as we know. No, they can track them. They don't have any sort of anticipatory abilities.
Why wouldn't you just track them going to and fro?
So you're saying that it's like
they can't
open field.
Okay.
You're saying like it's a road. I think
well,
that's
right.
There are lanes that we know are secure, but they could be. They're probably off lanes.
And why don't other ships just run into each other all the time?
We're talking about space. Space is big.
Right, but they use
space
the same
is so big. Think about the distance.
Just stop.
But what I'm saying is, a lot of the time, like if you're going to Coruscant from Tatooine, right, the hyperspace routes would be the same as other ships that are leaving Tatooine to Coruscant.
At that time.
It would check.
Tatooine is here. Coruscant is here. They're rotating.
But what I'm saying is, if two ships leave at the same time,
then they'll survive like this.
That's how the fleets, the fleets leave together, and they come back at the same spot.
I see what you're saying.
Okay.
It's still stupid.
It's stupid, just not for the reason you said.
It's still stupid. Yes. Period.
Star Trek is better. So,
like warp speed would have made sense. You just rammed into the fucking.
Yeah, because you just go.
But hyperspace to me is poof, you're gone.
Yeah, it's extra dimensional.
But
I have to imagine there's a distance before you
that has
coming
to be
to
it.
speed.
I also give them a pass on that one because Star Wars is just a fantasy, a space fantasy.
There was so much shenanigans with Star Trek that is not science. No, he's about to say Star Trek with warp speed can be true, right?
He's not going to say.
I was just going to say Star Wars doesn't. I don't hold it to the same standard I hold Star Trek.
Okay. I think they're both fantasy.
Well, they're not.
They are.
No.
They're both fantasy. Star Trek and Star Wars are both fantasy.
We're talking about something that's 500 years in the future, so it can only be speculated about.
Right,
Star
but the
Trek,
technology right now is...
well on its way.
I don't know.
What?
I
don't know where this is.
Right now, I don't think we're ever going to get to a point of warp speed, so to me it's just...
They didn't even... Our cell phones are better than the data pads they had next generation.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, technically, I think that his name is pronounced Michio Kaku. He has said that it's probably unlikely that we'll ever be able to explore.
They also said it was impossible to fly.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Continue on Star Wars.
Okay, so
Star Trek.
moving on.
Have we talked about everything we don't like?
No.
I know,
doubt
but
it.
we spent enough time.
Yeah, we spent like 45 minutes.
Just a quick list of things you didn't like.
No, I'm good.
Okay.
We covered most of it.
Okay. So moving on
Lists?
to what we would do. Okay, we're just gonna pick our top favorite thing.
Yeah, because we've talked about this a lot.
Nick, begin.
Nick began.
Why did you say that?
What
so
I would have
intensely?
done, I wouldn't have killed Luke.
Yeah.
I would have shown how
No,
powerful
one
he
thing.
is.
That was your one thing.
Well, this is about Luke. I wouldn't have killed Luke because I think he's extremely important to the story, and killing him just kind of...
I think Luke Skywalker is important to Star Wars.
And also...
That's controversial.
Like, I understand they showed how powerful he is when he like, phased to the new planet. But to me, it shouldn't have killed him. And I think they should have really showed how... Like, the next movie, sure, kill him. But right now, like, they needed to show how powerful Luke is.
I definitely thought he was going to cruise through episode 9. I definitely thought he was going to do it till the end.
I wish he I mean, honestly...
It's like doing 24 without
My
Jack
thing
Bauer.
is, if you kill off all the characters that we know and love, what is there for us to look forward to?
I don't know. Cause
all our new characters
that everybody loves, like
the only person I like is Finn. So I mean,
like that kid at the very end.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's my thing.
Keep Luke alive.
Keep Luke alive.
Yeah.
I think I would have shown because they definitely tried to hint that Kylo was struggling with being on the dark side when it came down to killing Leia and all them. I think they should have shown the struggle more, especially after he killed Snoke. It was just like Snoke said, "I'm gonna take over." He didn't like play it all like let's try to redeem Kylo Ren or anything. I would have played that up more.
Well, when he's not taking over as like
Supreme leader.
He literally said that's what he's doing.
I think, but
there was no hesitation.
Then I guess
he's like, I'm killing this guy.
I guess he was just lying to Ren.
No, he just. I think what he was saying.
Wait. Lying.
Because he was like, I want to end it all. I don't want.
I think he was true about that because he didn't care about the Sith or the Jedi or like any of these old titles. It's like we're gonna make a new single.
The First Order is new.
No, but
so he's gonna create the Second Order.
I felt like he was trying
to say tertiary order.
I want to get rid of the First Order. I want to get rid of the Empire. I want to get rid of the.
I think he was maybe trying to butter her up a little bit, but I don't know if he was lying. I don't know if he was lying. I feel like he was.
Then why?
If she was like
Supreme Leader.
Because I feel like the First Order is new. They just came around not too long ago.
Yeah, but he doesn't like the First Order.
Why do you think that?
Because he killed the leader, and then
so
he was
could
like,
be
I don't
the
want.
leader.
No, but then he was like,
so
I don't want any of it.
You were saying that you would have made that play up a little bit more.
Yeah, and I would have, once he killed Snoke and he was kind of free of Snoke, I feel like he should have struggled more with, is that the path he wants to follow, or have her try to bring him to the light side more.
Or before he killed him, he could have been like, is this what I should do? And then trying to talk to Rey into doing it with him, and rather than just kind of popping the question to her on the elevator right up there.
I did enjoy the back-to-back scene between the two of them fighting off the Red Guards. That was pretty cool.
The Mandalorians.
Are they really Mandalorians?
That's what the Emperor had.
They're not Mandalorians.
I can't imagine.
They're Mandalorians.
No.
Anyway,
and the Empire Guard wasn't Mandalorian either.
That would have been a big change. I think a positive change as well. Like
I think in the throne room, I think those were Mandalorians.
The Mandalorians have been dead for quite a while.
Do you remember the Red Guards in the original? Yeah. Those were Mandalorians.
Yeah.
They were wearing Mandalorian armor.
They were not Mandalorians.
It's quite possible.
The Mandalorians are dead.
Well, I mean, that canon has already been tossed out, so who knows?
Okay, Tom, what would you change?
Swear to God.
So we got don't kill Luke, make the struggle between
Kylo's internal struggle.
Yeah. Okay.
I think probably my change would have been to not make any movies or adjust the original trilogy after Return of the Jedi. I just cut it off there. And
You mean left canon with all the books?
Yeah.
All that time I spent.
No,
You have to give a change that you would do to this movie. You can't just be like, let's never make another Star Wars movie.
There is no episode 7.
What would
George Lucas?
I think if you're gonna make any change, there's no single change you can make to fix this movie. It's got you're right. There's a bunch of stuff I know Gary could probably say.
I'm pretty okay with it.
The only change I could think of that would, like one change that would help this movie would be everybody who dies needs to live, and everybody who died in the movie lived in the movie needs to die.
I agree. Without Akbar, there's serious.
There's no rebellion.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, well, like I said earlier, when Leia got sucked down and blown out of space,
kill her.
That would have been a great.
That was a
form.
good death.
Yeah, that was really sad.
That had a lot of.
Even the third time seeing it, I'm like, oh.
It was sad.
Even though I know she's gonna.
Dude,
die.
I almost teared up when Luke
injected
died.
her with Khan's
sad.
blood, and she's fine.
And did you see that? Like at the end, when Luke like fades to his like glory, they had like the sun setting just like
Tatooine.
on Tatooine. I was like, oh man.
If
I almost teared up, and I've never teared up in a Star Wars.
I like how they did it just like Yoda died too, like the.
Yeah.
I would say if I can get two changes, I would have ended the movie right at that shot where Luke walks out of that hole in the bunker, and there's just those 5 AT-ATs, and there was like light line.
That would have been
sick.
Yeah.
And then
that would have been good.
Yeah.
And then you might have been able to make a better movie.
But I think that they couldn't have done that because had they done it that way, the next movie would have had to pick up right there.
Nope.
The next movie obviously has to take place at least like.
Why does it have to pick up right there?
Because Leia's not going to be there.
Yeah, but cutscenes. They're not.
You could say it in the crawl, I guess.
Yeah.
The rebellion has reigning
supreme. You're gonna kill Princess Leia in a crawl?
That's.
I mean, they're not gonna CGI her, so.
No.
They've already said it. They're not gonna CGI her.
I think that was a good movie for her to go out on.
I don't know why they didn't kill her. I always said before this movie came out, I said, all my friends asked, who do you think is gonna die? I said Leia.
I thought they'd all die. I thought all of them would die.
I think they all will die.
They just died.
Chewie will die. Leia will die.
Chewie's gonna be the one who lives.
R2 will die.
Because in the books, he's the one who dies.
He's the one that stops the planet.
Well, he doesn't stop the planet.
Okay.
The planet stops him.
No.
What is
your change?
Yeah, you gotta pick one. It's hard.
Only one.
Yeah.
Don't get greedy.
If I was gonna pick one, it'd be keep Luke alive, because like to me that's the fire of the story. You know?
It's gone.
Yeah.
The fire's out.
The fact that he never got to get any power converters at Tosche Station really.
Yeah, he failed.
That has bothered me. That was like 50 XP.
In his quest log, that was the first one, and he never did it.
I'm just so disappointed that we never got to see Luke training people. We never got to see Luke really show his true potential.
Yeah, not even about the power, just about being a Jedi Master.
Just about his character.
And his wisdom.
I just feel like they ripped something that could have been so good away from me. Yeah. And it fucking sucks.
I feel the same way about Justice League.
I haven't seen that movie.
Don't worry.
Alright, so moving on to where we think it's going. Okay, so now we're going to make our predictions for where we think Episode 9 will take us.
Well said.
Thank you. Nick? What do you think is going to happen in Episode 9?
He favors Nick because he's got a gold check.
Clearly.
I think Rey takes the books, starts learning, maybe even starts teaching.
Okay. Finds a little broom kid and starts teaching him?
No, like Poe. Because
Okay.
he's obviously got the Force if he's that good as a pilot. He has to.
Maybe he just plays Pazik in
No.
his head. Okay.
He's a... Shut up. I hate you so much. I think maybe Kylo will turn good and there'll be some other Supreme Leader. Hux and him, the First Order are definitely splitting.
When do you think that's going to happen? Is that like in the crawl he's turned good? Or
No, I think it'll happen halfway through the
Can't
movie.
do that in the crawl.
Calm down about that.
I think what will happen is, I think Hux and the New Order is going to split. Because
doesn't respect him.
Doesn't respect Kylo, and the people won't respect Kylo.
They fear him,
right? But fear only goes so far.
That,
people fear Darth Vader, but they didn't respect him, and in the movies they talk back to him all the freaking time.
And died.
No,
or spit up egg.
Tarkin. Oh,
Tarkin respected him.
Yeah.
Right. Or spit up egg. I mean.
Yeah. Oh God, Nick, you are a freaking.
You are a card. And
you're a pork.
No, but like. I think they'll split, and I think Kylo will see that in order for his world, where like the Empire and the Jedi no longer exist, he has to join Rey.
Okay.
And I think they'll form a.
Wait a minute. So now you don't think he was lying?
The only way to explain it in my head was that he was lying, but I don't. I think
Are you arguing with yourself? Are you having an argument with yourself? Okay.
No, but I think that's what's going to happen. I think the final scene will be, or the final thing will be like a Sith comes out, like an actual Sith who has been like controlling Snoke.
Darth
Maul. Like an actual Sith will come out, and Rey and Kylo will have to join together to stop these.
I don't think there's literally any way they're gonna.
That's what I think is going to happen.
They don't even know what a Sith is.
Okay.
I think that's what's going to
happen. So that's the ultimate conclusion of the trilogy. This unnamed Sith comes out, and Rey and Kylo have to work together.
Fight it, and then it'll continue. Like they'll probably stop it, but it'll be like a small thing, and they'll like lead on to like
more movies.
Exactly.
ATST.
And they've already talked about how they want more movies after this. So
I'm not doubting that.
They have to have.
They're gonna make it.
They have to have something like that to keep. They have to keep Kylo, because this has been a big thing. They have to keep Kylo, and they have to keep Rey. And the only way to do that is if they join forces. That's the only way.
Okay. Neil?
Well, I definitely I think the next episode is going to take place significantly after this one did.
Not days.
Not days.
Weeks, maybe.
What kind of time frame are you thinking?
I'm saying about a year.
Okay.
I say about a year because then they don't have to show, they're not going to do it in the crawl, but someone in the First Order can explain how the planets started to come together, because Luke, gave them the opportunity to escape, but in that year, Leia's passed away. I think Rey will take the opportunity to read the books, learn a little bit, but I also think they're going to bring Luke back as a Force Ghost.
Oh, 100%.
To guide her, and he's going to be
100%.
like, I realize now, I should have taken time to train you properly. He'll teach her.
Mark Hamill will love that, because he's like, oh, I don't want to take her around forever.
Yeah. I think Kylo and Huxley,
whatever.
I think they are going to butt heads, and I think it's going to cause a divide in the First Order, and I think that's going to what pushes Kylo out. I don't think he and Rey will join up, but I think he will. I think he'll kill Rey. And I think
no way they're
going to. Kylo will kill Rey?
You think that's the ultimate? Like at the very end, he kills Rey?
No, I think at the end of 9 he kills Rey. And I think he, after that, realizes that the dark side's not the way. I think he turns light, and since he's already been trained as a Jedi and he has the book, or he can get the books, I think that's what will push the Jedi back.
How does that push him back from the dark?
Because he realizes the mistake he made. But I don't think Disney will ever kill Rey.
He seemed pretty
not for these.
Okay with killing his dad.
Yeah.
It feels like killing some.
I'm still not convinced that he killed
Han Solo.
Han Solo.
Han Solo's dead.
No, think Han Solo killed him?
Well, because he was like, I know what I need to do, but I can't. I don't know if I can do it. I think Han Solo knew that he needed to die for Kylo to redeem himself, and I think Han killed himself with the saber.
Well, what is it?
I'm sorry?
That's some conspiracy
You mean like he
shit
reached
right
out and turned it on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What if instead
we did see Han use a saber
in Empire Strikes Back in Empire.
What happens if instead of killing Rey, he kills Leia? And that's what is like whole.
No, because he already had the opportunity to do it, and he didn't take it.
Right.
So I feel like.
But I think.
That.
And he doesn't have
mind,
or her death could be what it's like. I need to come back
because I don't see them killing Rey. There's just no way.
I definitely think
built her up so much.
I definitely think
like
if the Jedi were to come back, it's gonna have to be because Kylo takes the steps to do it.
Luke's an old man. Nobody likes to watch old people in films.
I mean, that's true though. Like
that's what it is.
That's our
We
generation.
all just talked about how Luke was basically the
right,
best
but
thing.
that's our generation.
That's what we think about.
What about the little
kids? They're like, oh, this guy's old. He can't do anything.
No,
Oh, well.
kids want to be adults. They don't want to be kids.
No, but Rey is an adult to them.
Yeah.
And so is Finn, and so is...
She's much hotter than Mark Hamill, let's be
But
honest.
kids aren't paying attention to that.
No, but like teenagers.
Look, you can literally go on right now and look at all the new toys that came out. There are no Luke Skywalker toys. There's freaking Rey staffs and Rey clothes and Poe ships and Finn...
Whatever, bags of water, I guess they
Yeah.
walk around.
Finn...
Pogos or whatever.
Little saber things. Like, it's... There's no Luke stuff anymore. It's all
That's, he's
Kylo.
dead.
But before that, they're Disney's thing is for the little kids to find their
This was
people.
not. What was this rated? This was not a little kid movie.
It was PG-13.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kids
so
went to that.
That's not PG-13 for kids.
I'm pretty sure the
In
first
today's
Star
America, that's kids.
the first Star Wars was PG-13.
No, they're all PG until Revenge of the Sith.
Really?
Yeah.
Booyah.
I mean, I watched those when I was like 6 years old.
Oh yeah, they were great.
I mean,
Yoda scared the crap out of me when he was
I
like,
love
"You
Yoda.
will be."
PG-13.
the only part that scared me in Star Wars, like the original, was when Luke goes into the little tunnel. That freaked me the fuck out.
And Vader shows up?
Yeah.
When Yoda's super vague to him and says only what you take with you.
Which isn't. Vague.
All right, go. What do you think?
Will you finish?
Oh yeah.
And then I think he helps bring the First Order down,
Oh my God.
and that's how those slave kids in the Vegas whatever get liberated, and they become the new
Jedi.
Slavers.
apprentices.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I can see that.
I
still
also
think they're
really
coming
want to
around.
know what happened to the Jedi that left with Kylo when.
Yeah,
I think he killed them all.
No.
I assume
Luke
so?
says that no. Kylo himself says he took.
No, yeah.
No,
so
Luke says he took them.
he killed some, and some of them followed him,
Mhm.
and I want to know what happened to those.
Yeah, the Knights of Ren.
Yeah.
They were supposed to be a thing.
So I don't know if they're gonna come back up and.
They're taking their sweet time doing it,
Dude,
whatever
I
it
forgot
is.
about Knights of Ren.
I did when Luke
Because
talked about it in this movie. He's like,
It was
"Look,
the
I
Knights
trained
of
12
Ren.
kids and
It was the Knights of Ren joined with the First Order.
Then what are they?
yeah, I was expecting them to be a big thing, a big deal.
But lightsabers never touched in this movie.
What a weird comment to make.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what?
What do you think's gonna happen, Tom? Yeah. What are your thoughts?
What do you think?
about what's going on?
What's going on? What do I think is gonna happen?
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Keep it short.
God, we have been talking about this for so long.
Yeah, we're not getting to
I think we can game, and you can like
Yeah.
join in
that. I'm
for
working.
the hour and a half.
you
Tom?
can just face.
All
What
right.
do you think's gonna happen?
I do think that Rey is gonna use those books.
Oh yeah, she has to.
I don't know if we're gonna do a skip, like in say, Return of the Jedi, or if we're gonna do a montage.
I
'Cause
swear to God, but it's a montage.
I feel like it's gonna be like a montage of several years where she's like reading and like
Writing
learning.
arithmetic.
You're the best.
that would be amazing. I'd be sold.
Except it'll be Star Wars, so it's like weird ass
Oh.
like.
Burn, 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 burn. I think she'll take the books. She'll use those. I'm still not happy that she has those books. I think that's kind of dumb.
Luke didn't censor taking it out, so.
That's what he said. So I feel like she's gonna use those. Was she about tradition? Was she like, I don't want to tear things down?
No.
No. She didn't know any about the
Yeah.
history.
She knows nothing.
She's just some little poor orphan girl. Nobody cares.
Yeah, I
about.
think that's a lie.
Oh, for sure.
I think that's gonna be proven to be a
For sure.
lie.
She's Luke's daughter.
No.
I don't know. I don't know who's her daughter, but could be Luke and Leia's daughter.
They're twins, Tom. That's
This
gross.
is Disney. It's very possible.
It's
very
canon.
possible.
There you go. It's gonna turn out to be Elsa's daughter.
Okay, so that's all you think's gonna happen?
No,
Hurry up! Go, Tom, go!
I think she's gonna learn, and she's definitely
I
gonna.
hate having him on the street.
Seriously.
There are a bunch. She's definitely gonna gather a bunch of kids. Ever since Neil said that about Kylo turning, No, the Knights of Ren. I'm like, where are they? I think they're gone. I think
the Knights of Ren are forgotten.
They're not going to come back up. But ever since he was talking about Kylo turning, I don't know.
Yeah, he's definitely turning good.
It seems like what they would do, because I mean it's a third movie and they've just been copying and pasting.
And they've literally been alluding to this for hours. I mean, in movie time, hours is a long time.
Way to put it.
I don't know how to put it, but
Anyway.
that's the way to put it.
For hours, many minutes,
For many moons.
But I don't know. I think the fear is going to be enough to keep him in charge. Fear of Kylo Ren will be enough to keep him in charge of the First Order. I think it's going to be a bad, abusive relationship between him and Hux.
There's no way. They're separating.
Hux is definitely the bottom of that.
Yeah.
100%.
Hux is not going to deal with it.
Snoke treated him the same way. I mean, he was like smashing him around the ship in front of everybody.
Vader did that to his people too, but he also had the Emperor behind him, and the Emperor was well-liked.
But he's the Emperor.
And gave
But
some
that's
good
what I'm saying.
SSPRs.
No, the Emperor was also very deadly, and people feared him as well, but they also respected
people, liked him. I don't think they were afraid of him.
The generals feared him. 100%. Because Vader's
I
like...
think they feared Vader, because I think
Yeah, I
Vader
think
was like
no.
his bad
I
guy.
think
Because the Vader says, if you do not correct this, the Emperor is coming.
And
No,
he
he's
will
not.
not be as lenient as I.
Yeah,
Right.
And Vader, he'll be like, Vader, kill him. That's how I always felt.
I felt it was like, if the Emperor comes, I'm dead, and that's fear.
So either way, it was fear holding all these people in line.
Well, I also think
Fear will keep the people in place.
Fear of this.
Of Disney.
I don't know. What do you think's gonna happen?
So then
Hurry up, Tom.
So then, when does Mickey Mouse come in? And
Yeah,
start
exactly.
killing everybody.
With a keyblade.
Oh, no, he's got a lightsaber and he saves everybody at the end.
Oh my God.
That would be kind of awesome.
That'd be
It's
Kingdom
Goofy.
Kingdom Hearts, the movie.
Or if it was Goofy.
Yeah.
I'm here to
They'd
save
love,
the day.
they'd love that slapstick stuff.
Jar Jar Goose.
It would be less goofy if Goofy was in the movie.
Fucking.
So, First Order is still there. He's definitely going to build some sort of huge super weapon. Probably.
A
Like-
sun-sized weapon.
It'll be called the Star Forge.
Yeah.
That's what makes their gear.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yeah. And so they're going to start taking over. They've got to destroy this. It's that or like a system of Death Stars. Because that's, I mean, what else can they do?
It's just two Death Stars tied together with like a little bitty like
But
bridge
what's
in the middle.
weird is
Just
in
nipple ships.
The Force Awakens, they just shot a beam and it just destroyed some planets. It wasn't like
It wasn't one. Oh wait. All right. I'm sorry.
This is why I'm not done yet.
I'm sorry. We were talking about what we hated earlier.
So, we're past that.
No,
We're past
I
that.
have to mention this. Why were they lobbing laser beams through space?
We
never talked
that?
about this.
Okay, the laser beams would like fired them.
Yeah,
and
that
it
was
loud.
Why were they lobbing?
I saw that. I was
What
like,
the
I
fuck?
asked Gary. I was like, do these lasers traveling through the vacuum of space have a trajectory?
What is going on?
Is it
And they
po-
were missing. They missed.
Although I
sometimes.
have to say, before we say anything else, that is canon in the animated series.
No,
Say
that's a
canon.
cannon.
I'm done. In the animated series, were even made by Tartakovsky, which was really good. They would be shooting things out of their tanks, and they were like blobs of
Projectiles.
energy.
On a planet, though, right? Not in the dead
In the
space.
space.
But it was still a blob of energy, like a laser.
It
And
would
it
not
was
be affected by the
arcing.
gravity.
It just makes no sense.
Unless it was like plasma from
Yeah.
the sun. Then
I'm-
it was
I'm
The
look-
X-wings missiles go pew pew. They go straight.
no, they kind of like.
Well, I mean,
They,
they're missiles.
they curve wherever they need to go.
No, I'm talking about the lasers that they shoot. They go
Well,
straight.
those aren't missiles.
It's also a shorter distance.
So
you may not just see
I'm
the
willing
drop.
to accept that the green thing was plasma and it was shooting plasma,
Fine.
but it still wouldn't have curved.
it would go straight.
I'm not arguing that it would. I'm
It
just
doesn't
saying.
make any sense. All right.
That's
I'm sorry.
that's what Gary was talking about earlier.
I'm sorry.
When he's like, it's fantasy. It can kind of do whatever it wants.
Yeah.
I can't.
And also, that's what I was talking about earlier when I said Star Wars is World War II in space, and that's what artillery would
Yeah.
do.
So Nazis used plasma and it curved.
So
So what else would happen in your movie?
yeah.
Tom?
Sorry.
In Captain America, they did.
Sorry.
What else would happen in your movie, Tom?
I forgot about that. But I had to say it. It makes me so.
It's a good point. I wanted to talk about that too because I hated it.
So stupid.
Let's see. So, Ren.
Ray.
What's the girl?
Ray.
Ray is teaching kids.
So you
Kylo-
think she is gonna teach?
Oh yeah, I think she and I think
Like at the beginning of the movie or at the end?
no,
I
I think
think
that's
it's-
going to be her first.
I think
thing.
it's gonna go really bad.
Really? I think Luke's gonna come in. I think Luke would probably, maybe not Obi-Wan, but I think
Han Solo's gonna be there to ghost for him.
he did pick up a
Hayden
lightsaber.
Christensen will be there.
Everybody goes.
I think Yoda and Luke will be there. I don't think anybody else.
Hayden Christensen.
I don't think they're gonna bring Hayden Christensen into it. I hope not.
You don't think they're gonna bring like old Vader?
No, I don't. I think because
Hey, Grandpappy.
Disney is playing it super safe. They're not going to go into any. They know.
Why they killing Luke is not very safe.
They killed him like they killed Yoda, so they're like, oh, everybody's going to like that he became one with the Force.
I don't think anybody liked that.
I don't think anybody did.
Nobody liked this movie.
But they're going to
Actually,
think
a lot
that.
of people like the movie.
It's very divisive.
It's just very
9.5.
No.
Oh God. Anyway, so she's going to get help.
7.5.
She's going to get help from those
when I
two.
see Johnny, I'm gonna smack him so fucking hard.
I don't know how far. I feel like there will be time skips. Like we're going to see.
Yeah, it has to.
Time pass, and I feel like the Resistance, Rebellion, the Rebellion, they're gonna
The new rebellion.
Yeah.
The new order.
I feel like it's just gonna be Jedi, so
You don't think it's gonna be like
something
normal,
new and
everyday
creative.
people?
Oh no, I'm sorry. I mean, this ninth movie will just be a rehashing of Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
is what I meant. So it's all gonna be about them trying to like they're on their back foot. They're trying to get a good shot at it. It's all gonna come down to Rey and you know what? It may come down to Rey and her students that she's training, and Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren. They might just bring those back out of nowhere. Who knows?
They've been training on Korriban.
Sure. I don't think they'll ever bring a Sith in. They're like,
I think they have to.
I mean, it would be neat, but
so who wins in the end?
Oh, clearly, I think we're all expecting Kylo to be turned like a Vader thing, and I think that's probably what will happen because that's dumb. It doesn't make any sense. The way he is now, I don't think he would. I think he's fully invested in what he's chosen. But I feel like it would be cooler if it went the way where Kylo does kill Rey, and he has to, like it affects him in some way. Maybe it's his sister or his cousin or something, so they're like making out or something.
Han and Leia just left her on Tatooine.
No, I kind of think that
Janku.
Han, after they had some problems and Han left, and he kind of got some.
I think it's Leia because she's got Force powers and Leia has Force.
Han has powers too.
No, Han doesn't.
Yes, he does.
Han Force.
I've got a real bad feeling about this.
That's a So you're saying that C-3PO has the Force? Because he said it as well.
He has no midichlorians. He can't have the Force.
He's
like the years in
Han definitely.
Well, I just proved you wrong. So
he's an amazing pilot. He's got all these blaster skills.
About that,
we're talking about C-3PO.
Can we go back? Can we go back a little bit to what we hate?
No.
Because Chewie flew the Millennium Falcon like it was Han. Like he was going through that planet and everything.
Yeah.
That was directly from.
Maybe Han was never piloting at all. It was always Chewie.
Yeah, and maybe Chewie's a Jedi.
That'd be sick.
That would be awesome.
That would be
maybe
cool.
Rey is Chewie's daughter.
All right, so how
she's
does it
just
end?
shaved.
So how does it end?
She forgets to shave one day. She just says fucking Wookiee her.
How does it all end?
How does it all end?
I feel like she does turn. It's dumb. I don't like it.
You think she turns Kylo?
I think she turns Kylo back to the good. And
then they have to kill Hux.
then who's in charge? I guess it would be Poe. No, Finn is probably in charge of the rebellion. Poe and Finn are, doing.
Numbers.
Where did that rose thing come? That was like out of left field. But she's like, we say the things we love. You love me? It's like.
She did have an admiration for him for being a hero.
It's like meeting. It's like meeting a movie star.
Right.
It's kind of like that movie Misery. She's just one step away from breaking his kneecap.
Yeah, pretty much. I agree with that.
Which would be a great way to take the ninth episode.
How does it end?
It's darker than
How
the
does
other
it end?
They beat the First Order because the First Order is lame.
Yeah.
Who even cares about that? And we don't know, like they show random shots of planets we have no idea about, like rebuilding things. We're like, oh, I guess that was on that one of those 5 planets that they destroyed that were all right next to each other. So we don't know what's going on. And then I feel like Rin and
Stimpy,
Rey are like co-grand masters of the new Jedi Order, and they've got like a bunch of little kids that they're training. And it ends with one of the kids like holding up a lightsaber and
Like
it
Luke.
glows, and it goes boom, boom, and it's really dumb and doesn't make any sense. I think that's how it's gonna end.
But that doesn't give. Oh, actually, it does.
And probably Yoda and Luke will be there and
Watching.
high five.
They're like
Luke
watching.
holding his hand way up here, and Yoda's like, "Oh!"
Luke, I could see Luke and Leia
I don't think Leia will be there.
watching and just.
But you know what? No, they said they weren't gonna CG her, so that's not gonna happen. I mean, they could do it a different way, but I feel like that's the way they'd go.
All right.
If they were gonna go that way.
What do you think's gonna happen?
I think that they're going to. I don't think they're going to skip ahead at all. I think they're going to keep it all within a few months
Days.
or weeks. Yeah.
Okay, hurry up. How's it end?
And I think that Snoke is going. I think that Snoke is actually Darth Plagueis, because I don't think they're willing to really create anything new, and I think they probably heard the word Plagueis before, and he's a powerful Sith Lord. So I think that he was probably defeated by Palpatine, and Palpatine probably thought he killed him. But maybe Plagueis can regenerate or something, always or something. So I don't think he's dead. I think that he's going to continue to link Rey and Ren together. Sorry, link them together. And,
You know what? That makes.
And continue to like force
Why
them
do you? Why do you think that? By the way, that he's still alive?
because at the end of the movie, they were looking at each other like he was picking up the dice and she was looking down, and that was what Snooki had done.
That's pretty strong reasoning.
And I think that they're going to continue fighting the First Order and the Rebellion, and then the Rebellion is going to be losing, and
They've already kind of lost.
Somehow.
Yeah, I don't know how you don't beat these people, but they're going to be fighting, and I think as far as I mean, I really don't care what the storylines are for Poe and Finn and all this crap. I don't care.
He could have. It's like my like for Qui-Gon.
Yeah.
He's not really that good.
But the A plot I think is going to be that Ren and Rey definitely fight, and just because they've like come to know each other really well because they keep being linked, and then like at that point Plagueis will come out and be like kill her, and so maybe he's like no, and then he kills her, and then Ren's like how dare you, and like he's revealed like he's got like a holocron that's like his Horcrux or something, and so Ren destroys that, and that kills
That's a joke.
Plagueis.
Wait,
I could see.
wait, hold on, because this just came to me. What if Gary's idea is partially right, and like he keeps trying to bring them together? Like the Plagueis stuff, that's all right. He keeps trying to bring them together. What he really wants, because he's clearly not 100% regenerated. What if he's trying to make them have a baby because they're both very force sensitive?
What? Not Disney. That's
and he
not
wants to
gonna
put
happen.
like his own spirit into there.
That won't happen.
That's not.
I do like the
out
Plagueis
of the
idea.
realm of possibility. Goofy coming in is closer.
I do like the Plagueis idea. I do think Snooki is dead. And I don't think he was Plagueis. I think he was just like a minion, kind of like Maul. And that's the Sith that come back as Plagueis.
Okay.
And like you find out that, like my version is that Sith come back. Plagueis sends another Sith, like an actual, like the Sith.
You guys are coming up with stories that are like callbacks to all this other stuff that make a lot of sense. But I don't think Disney knows.
I'm not
anything
saying
about
they'll name
that.
it Plagueis,
I don't think they've even heard of Plagueis. You're like
Right.
Darth Plagueis, and they're like, what?
but I think they know what Sith is, and so
And J.J. Abrams is directing this next one.
And I'm pretty sure
So
Kathleen Kennedy, who's running their Star Wars division, is pretty well versed.
yeah. But I don't think
based on
I
the
don't think
movies
they
I've
bring
seen
out
so
Plagueis.
far, she's
Okay.
been running the last
But
two.
they
She also has
definitely
to answer to it.
is going to be a big Sith
Well,
Lord.
he was really injured, so
My thing is how did he not sense that the fucking lightsaber was being moved towards him?
because what about this?
Jesus.
That was
Did you guys
because
talk about that?
He may have.
Yeah,
he may have
because
realized.
he's like I can't die, so I'll be okay, and he needs to fulfill his destiny as the junior Sith to kill the senior Sith, because there's only two can be.
They didn't mention Sith at all, did they? Throughout
No.
the whole thing.
But he always talks about having Vader, him becoming the new Vader, which is
But in the original, that wasn't a thing either. Like, you guys are talking about stuff that only exists in, like, not extended because there was mention of it in the prequels, but
Oh,
they
maybe
don't
you're
know
right.
about that.
I guess they don't have Sith. No, because Maul was.
He said Sith. I At one point.
That's fine to say Sith because I'm sure they've heard that word about Star Wars, but I don't think they know the rule of two or that Darth Bane came up with that or anything.
Disney's not stupid.
They're not stupid,
If
but they don't care about
If
that.
they watched the prequels, they would have known that. They don't need to know anything about extended universe.
They're not using anything from the prequels. They're like, we just want the stuff from the original that everybody likes, and we're just going to try to rehash it.
What are you talking about? Qui-Gon is the one who came up with Force Ghosts. They're using it.
No, Force Ghosts were in all over the place. In the first episode.
Qui-Gon happened before Episode 4.
In Episode 4...
Okay, so...
Qui-Gon was the one who found out you could become a Force
You're
Ghost.
talking about chronologically.
Okay.
I'm saying the movies themselves.
All right.
Okay.
So to wrap it up, let's go around the table and either a yes or a no recommendation for seeing Star Wars: The Last Jedi.
Can we all make predictions on what everybody else is going to say?
No.
Oh.
I'm going to go with a no recommendation on this. Just because I think if you want to watch it, wait till it comes out on digital video disc or VHS. I think that'll be better because I don't think you'll miss anything. And it's really disappointing.
Do you want to give a rating or just yes or no?
Okay, I give it a rating of I'm going to say a 2.5.
What happened? Why'd you give it so generous a rating now?
2.5 out of 10. Nick?
I'll go with you can go see it, but put in mind that it's not what the old Star Wars was, and I'll give it a 5 out of 10 just because I think it was a middle ground movie. If you take away the original trilogy and you just take it for what it is, which is a new Star Wars movie.
If you ignore everything you know about pop culture.
Oh, is this a movie for kids?
If you're not a big Star Wars fan, it's fine. That's really the true thing.
Is this a movie for kids?
If you're a big Star Wars fan, don't go see it.
Neil's a big Star Wars fan and he likes it.
He's not as big as
That's
us.
exactly what my recommendation.
You're more of a Star Trek fan.
Absolutely not.
More.
Yeah. What are
So-
you? What?
Is this a kids movie? Because
That's
it's got a lot of kids humor in it that I don't think any
know.
adults like.
Like I said,
It has like a...
if you're not a Star Wars fan, fine, go see it.
Gary, what's your judgment? Kids movie or not?
It doesn't matter.
I don't know how to feel at this movie. I mean, because it's got like lots of kids
We'll get
element and that only kids would find funny, I guess. But it's also like super adult in a lot of its things. Like a lot of people die horribly in this.
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
it's like Darth Snooky. He will give kids nightmares. Like he is a creature from nightmare.
He's much more realistic and scary in this.
Yes.
What happened there?
Because he was shown a person, not a hologram.
So-
But they're super accurate holograms.
No.
They're still grainy and the quality is lost.
But his wasn't.
So
No,
I
his
don't
looked
know. I don't know if this is a kids movie or not. I don't know if it's a comedy or not. I don't know how I should feel about this movie.
But he's still not going to recommend.
Yes.
Neil.
No. Kids movie?
No.
Okay. Adults movie?
Yes.
Okay.
It's also
An
kind
adult movie?
Got that X-rated?
It's kind of a comedy, kind of a. It's what I said. Don't if you're a Star Wars
All right,
fan,
Neil?
don't go see it.
Okay.
First, would you recommendation, rating, and is it a kid movie?
Recommendation, yes, go see it. Keep in mind that it's not the original trilogy. You have to go in with an open mind and realize that it's a new production company advancing a story in their view, making the movie towards today's populace.
That's so what a non-fan would say.
He's a hipster.
Anyway, I enjoyed it. I give it a
Don't you dare say 7.5 out of 10.
Say 8. Just
8.
Yeah.
I give it an 8. It's probably top 3 Star Wars.
No,
movies.
sir.
Top 3, so better than Return of the
I
Jedi?
say Empire Strikes Back, Rogue One, then
I have to go pee. I'm done. You broke me. I'm done.
What is life?
Ladies and
I'm
gentlemen,
done.
there you have it.
I'm done.
Are you just
Okay.
saying that?
It's okay. It's his opinion.
Yeah, no, it's fine if that's what he thinks. I wasn't prepared to kick him out of the game, but it just sprung on me so fast. But I'll get there.
And
It was
kids movie?
good playing with you. Good
kids
seeing you.
movie. No,
Okay, no kids movie.
No.
So don't take your kids to see this movie. Tom, would you see it? Rating and kids movie. I need you to process this, Tom.
I think this is just right below episode 2, and so it's like the second best movie in the entire trilogy.
I don't know. Up
so
and down,
you
black and
Force
white.
Awakens is better than this?
I would say yes, because Force Awakens did not kill Luke Skywalker. Would I recommend seeing this? I would recommend seeing this if you were a fan or not. I think.
So if you're a human being, see the movie.
I feel like there's a
If
lot.
you've invested into 8 other movies, you might as well.
Yeah, you're gonna see it. Does it matter what I recommend to you? You're gonna go see it. It's like me saying I'm not gonna go see Justice League because it's gonna suck, and I saw it.
And it sucked.
It was awful, terrible. It was probably like the 3rd best movie I've ever seen. It's gonna be wow.
Rating, Tom?
Oh God, a rating. Even though, despite my recommendation, I would probably rate this at. Well, you went 2.5. Seems high to me.
I could go to 2. I could very.
I'm easily a 2, maybe a little bit lower, just because I feel like, although I can see where Nick's coming from, because it had some pretty good elements, but I feel like they were missed. Like there's good thoughts they weren't picked up on, so I'll go 3, just to be very generous, because I don't want to offend anybody sitting at the table who thinks this is.
Although unlike Into Darkness, I don't think the elements. I think they were just mixed because of poor execution, not because they wanted to piss me off.
Just specifically offend you. Yes, that's true.
Okay. And children's movie?
I don't know, like you say, it's a tonal mess, so I mean, it's just all over the map. I think they were definitely aiming to get kids in some of it. That's why those little chicken-footed monsters were all over. I mean, they kept popping up, and that's just for kids. When kids started getting bored, they'd be like, oh, look, there's a thing going, and just horrible nightmare fuel. So I would say, in the regard that Disney wants kids to watch it, it is a kids' movie in that sense.
That's the crappiest answer I ever had.
It's pretty awful.
Well, there you have it, people. There's our review of Star Wars: The Last Jedi. We hope you enjoyed watching with us and experiencing the last 3 hours. I know I have.
Comments what your thoughts on this movie were.
Yeah.
I'd like to know.
Link and subscribe, follow.
Yes.
We'll be doing more of these.
Yes.
Well,
all right. Thank you so much. And
he won't. He's out.
As they say in Star Wars, Godspeed.